Yo, Raghav and I was working on it. That shit was like, oh, that was so fun. That was actually super fun. All right,
Mm-hmm.
let me get the number. Oh gosh, I needed to sleep, bro. That was like, holy, bro. I'm not sleeping again. That was that was
Yeah.
actually the worst.
As a matter of professionalism, I am doubling down on my sleep schedule, amongst everything else, but my sleep schedule as well, because it, I realized how inefficient it makes me to be sporadic and to like go for like 24 hours, like 30 hours, like it just becomes so unproductive. And
Bro, that is just facts.
yeah, so
It's actually the thing is, you know what? Like, yo, it is honestly all just planning ahead. Like, I need to plan more. It's actually super unfortunate.
John, plan everything because um, this week on Wednesday and Thursday, I was thinking rather than doing. Oh, that was quick, bro. That was a fast turnaround. That was a very quick
Bro,
turnaround. And I
from
I went.
REM to Dream. It's
Mhm.
SMP. Anyways.
What does that mean?
I don't fucking know, bro. Yo,
Okay,
listen,
then
man.
I'm glad I called you out on it because that was it. We got to keep it real. Like, so
uh,
I said that like um I that if I try to find a kind of permanent identity, then I'll just always like keep looking. But a few things that I am really
mm,
believing in is that like number one, like Sam Harris, this stuff is like really good because the thing is like meditation can only help, and like it can only help. I feel like in any because just like bring you back to a more kind of like clear mind. It can only help. Like it can only push you forward because it like doesn't let stuff pull you back in terms of like trying to find identity. But also what I was getting into in terms of like actual identity, not actions, is like at least for the time being. But I feel like no matter what I'll do, even if I change my goals to like something more holistic, which like you've known me for a while, you've seen me actually do this a lot. Like I've come to you and said like I don't feel like I'm gonna be like chasing like billions of dollars anymore to like I am chasing power um to all these like to like I'm into minimalism now, but I feel like either way I still have to stay in like frame, and I still have to carry myself with professionalism every second of the day. And so that's what it comes down to. Like obviously Andrew Tate always talks about professionalism, and I really was thinking, and I'm like, in what scenario would it really be um okay for me to not carry myself with professionalism? Like if I'm just like really really relaxing, like nah, I feel like even if I'm like really really relaxing, like I still have to do that. And I've been slowly like cutting down on little things, and like the habits really do change after time. Like one thing that I've been really focusing on is like my posture when I'm sitting. This is not evident that because this is a couch with like a back chair, but like I'll sit like in different places all day long, and like I'm just so prone to slouching, and it's something that like I could not get out of because and I've I also read more on over the past 2 weeks about like the idea that when you get out of a habit, even like let's say you do the actual action of getting out of the habit, but now you're doing something else and your body is not used to that, and it feels like it's like deficient. Like for example, imagine you lost weight and now your body literally wants you to be fatter because it's like what the fuck, like this is not you. um this is actually like the most watched impact theory YouTube video is
mm.
I'm not sure what they're like what the science is, um but I'm focusing on like little things little by little by little and trying to really turn them down, um because I just think about all the people who stop themselves in their tracks. Like I was
Yo,
even thinking about
that's
this guy
actually
who
a crazy journey that you're about to start on because when I started university, I went through a similar thing, and I've always had sort of an issue finding identity. And I don't know if this is just me, but I think it's actually more of, I think the conclusion you'll come to realize is that it is like the idea of it itself is such a fickle thing. And I'm sure you already realize it to some degree, but like I think believing in something like an identity, like something that other people will see is a really good way to make yourself worried about everything you do. Um, like, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing to think about because I think about all the time.
Well,
Um, oh, howdy.
I'm not too
Hi,
late.
how's the
I could
Minecraft
not
tournament,
control
Hattie?
anything. It was not the tournament, bro. I guarantee you. I was out, right? So
Were you
we
in Ottawa?
decided to. Yes, I was. We decided to go for a restaurant, right?
Okay.
We were supposed to leave at like let's say about 4-ish. Supposed to take about 2 hours, and then we ended up leaving at 5:30, and then we ended up not even. I found out that my parents didn't even make a reservation, so we had to wait at least half an hour, and then we still had to go shop. So that's the only reason
Roll
why.
with us.
I
You won't
actually
need
got screwed by RNG. So
No.
GG.
Roll
roll
it
with
back,
us.
Hattie.
You won't need
You
to roll with
don't
us,
own the restaurant.
and that's the problem.
What?
That's what do you like what are you doing?
What?
You have to make a
I just got back
reservation?
home. I just got home.
You have to make
Listen,
a reservation.
next time something like this
No, you
happens,
didn't need to.
next time something
But
like this happens, you call John or I. We extend an
I
immediate line of
texted
credit.
y'all. I texted
You
y'all.
purchase the restaurant.
Mhm.
No, okay?
The lady who tells you you need a reservation gets fired. You get a table at the window. Whoever's sitting at the window get moves, and that's
Yeah,
it. That's what
yeah.
happened.
So
Just next
All right,
time, let us know. Let us know, and we'll help you
yeah,
out.
I got you.
Yo, crazy. We were just talking about professionalism. Yo, the one thing that I have always like you're right like being professional holding yourself to a certain standard is super important. And I mean this comes down to like your posture, to all the little things, the body language, how you present yourself. That's the basis of it, right? And if you can get those things down, then you'll be you'll feel a lot better about yourself. Not necessarily will change everything, but the little things add up. It's like having a personal
It'll
website
change
when you're
everything
applying
because
for a job.
professionalism means that it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. As in, like
Mhm.
like it's it's not an aura. Like it's literally the term professional. The term professional like versus amateur. If you're a professional, then there is like extreme thoroughness and rigor in what you do, right? It's like think of like an amateur singer versus a professional singer, right? Like think of like Duchamp and how rigorous and thorough his understanding of music needs to become for him to like succeed in university, right? Like because it's a professional track. Um, so that's what I mean, and this is all not to like an extent of feeling. Like I just reconsidered what I'm doing this year because the whole goal was um, to make like eight like $80,333 in the last 2 months of the year and drop out of university and move to California. Um, and I had to reconsider whether I wanted to whether I wanted to like do the inputs for that. And I defaulted back to yes, but it's like that in somewhat of a sense that is my identity. Like that's what I default to doing. Um, but as in everything
But
that
but
I do,
but
I
it's
do with
crazy though
intention.
because the habits that would lead you to that circumstances were dissonant with what you were actually doing. Like
What do you
they're
mean?
if you're out here, not taking care of yourself and then procrastinating, frankly, the person at the end of the year isn't gonna have the money. So
Yeah, but
having these
again,
ambitious goals,
it's all a choice. Like it's all a choice, right?
of
It, it's
course, of
it's a,
course,
it's
of
it's a
course,
choice
and
to
you can choose to be broke or you could choose to held yourself high.
But it's a matter of
But
which inputs I choose to put in. Like the point is, I still know what I'm doing. Like I know what the outcome is of what I'm doing. It's always been a choice. That's why I've come to you on different occasions and said, this is no longer going to happen. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, like hold yourself to a higher standard, or like what? Like, do you not believe? And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, I can predict how much effort I will put into this. Like, I can predict what I will choose to do. I can even predict how much an industry pays for the same amount of effort or the same amount of power. Like, these are just real ass things. So yeah.
bro, man, you know what? I actually I started I started off like often thinking about identity way too much, and now I'm at a point where I actually barely think of it at all. And I think that just came to the point where like I had so much practice trying to carry myself better. And obviously there's better things. Like I'm always trying to hold myself to higher standard. However, I would often get to a point where it was like I would worry a little bit too much and it would affect how I behave. And you for people out there who are like trying to be like, different, they're trying to hop on that, you have to make sure that you don't cross that line where it's not you. There's one thing about holding yourself to a higher standard and it's another thing trying to be top G when you're not top G.
That doesn't make
Like
sense.
you have to
If
walk
you
the
cross
path.
the line, then you are that person.
If
How
you
can you
cross
be
the
something you're
line
not?
and you're not dying doing it, yes, you are that person. But if there is a line to begin with, then clearly you aren't able to handle that yet.
We
And
talked about
that's
this inside
okay for me to
Mario's. Like
realize that.
the concept of dying doing it is still like who defines what's bad? You know what I mean?
it's bad if you it's bad if it makes you fucking less professional when you're trying to be professional.
What does
Like
that
if
mean?
you're pushing yourself so damn hard that you can't actually perform, then clearly you're doing something wrong because
That doesn't make sense.
if your idea of professionalism has to make you fucking overwhelmed all the time, not focusing on what the person is saying, not listening to what they're saying, you're just concentrating on yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to still be in essence of you. Professionalism is not what you see other people doing. It's what the rigorous systems and the consistency and the standard that you set for yourself. Professionalism is not, oh, I'm gonna make a bunch of meetings and then I'm gonna meet with these people and make calls
Yo,
every
I don't
single
know what
day.
we're
Like
talking
that's
about, bro. Let's just move on. Like, yo,
No, but it's important, bro. A lot of people miss that. I see that in my life where people confuse professionalism with being like fake, with being someone they're not. And
okay,
that's
but
an important distinction to make. I think
that's
people need
that's
to
their
I
shit.
think people need to be I think people need to be aware that like we say be professional, but we're not telling you, "Oh, go out of your way to fucking make your life
I only
harder for
speak for
yourself."
myself. I'm not giving
It's
advice to
not, yeah,
anybody
it's not
but
trying to be
myself.
someone you want. It's just rather just trying to
Of
like
course. Of
change
course.
like your ways that like kind of that like your like
That's a
your like
contradiction.
weaknesses basically.
That's a
Like
contradiction.
Hmm?
something that makes you look, uh like something you don't feel good upon doing, right?
Why do you think it's a contradiction, Andrew?
Because you
I,
are your
I I see what you're
actions.
saying.
Anyways, look,
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
I'm
exactly.
just
And that's
being a
also
logical
that,
smartass. Like I don't really care.
no, 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 no. You're right, you're right. That also is important to make. Like that's why I
You do
think
change who
identity
you
is a
are.
fickle thing.
I am completely different from who I was in the summer, and I ask myself whether I want to continue to be different and basically move into this direction. I am I am increasingly more stressed by the day. I am increasingly less happy in the instant. I am like I smile less. I in
But
general
but
just
but
have
are
a
you
much
more at peace? For me, all those things are equally true. Where I've assumed more responsibilities, things are getting a lot more stressful, but internally, I am more
bro,
satisfied.
I
I'm
can
more
lie
at peace.
myself into believing anything. Like
But are you?
more at peace.
Do you feel like you've
That's a
accomplished
hard
something that?
that's a hard equation because it's a different time than it was in the summer. So
Of course.
so I feel like I'm equally at peace. Again, I've been mindful long enough. Like I'm always at peace,
Mm.
you know? And that's
I
why I
can't
always have
speak
to ask
for you.
myself. That's why I struggle to necessarily stay on a single path because as you know, like I'm very apathetic to pretty much everything outside of like myself and my family, which I just call myself because I'm at peace. Like you know, we talked a while ago about people saying that they lost their ambition after psychedelics, which are sort of similar to like, you know, long-term meditation practice. So I can relate to that, the loss of ambition, just being at peace with everything. So having to then decide um, who will I be, what sacrifices will I make for what gains, aka what do I consider a gain, and yeah, like that's why I think I need to go in for the whole year because
Mm.
as I kept saying, it's no longer enough to do something for a week or a month. I need to be able to connect the dots backwards, and yeah, like I don't care. Like I go in for the year at the very least. I can predict in myself that I will keep on going and you know dominate. But at the very worst, I'm just going to go right back. I'll be in Ottawa, which I already know will be will be better for me because I'll be living in I can live in isolation rather than in like a very like laid back culture, which I personally like, which I really like don't see myself getting into. I absolutely could. I could go watch the Super Bowl right now, eat chicken wings and shit, and you know have fun knowing that I have a stable job ahead of me. Um, you know, like beautiful wife and kids, whatever, right? And after a long enough period of time in that, and telling myself this is what is bad for me, I will get into it, right? Like I can mold this shit. But the if this all fails, then you know I'll be in Ottawa in isolation, so I'll be able to be more focused. But I'll basically just be focused on education. Like this was my plan before. My plan was to get extremely educated in math and business, and then based off of that, create a lot of value. I just decided to skip over those educational steps, and I'm trying it out. But you know, like I don't care because the textbooks are all the same, right? So here I am continuing to be, you know, very hard on myself, doing things almost purely with the thought of what will be the profit on them rather than how much fulfillment do I get out of this. This is where I'm at. Anyways,
Bro,
if you don't have anything else to say, I wanted to say something.
yo, the only thing I touch about that, the only comment I actually have is it's interesting that you say you're always at peace and that you actively decide to do this based on a transactional basis. Am I willing to sacrifice it or this or not? I'm not saying here, there, whatever about that. What I
Mm-hmm.
am saying is that I have yet to reach that point, and more I come to think, will I ever want to reach that point? Or will I ever need to reach that point? Because for me, right now, that ambition is constantly driving me forward. That ambition is the reason that I continue to push myself farther than what my comfort would allow me to do so. And that ambition has brought me to outperform and overstep the identity that I so far have been put onto me. And now I'm starting to be choosing on my own. So it's interesting. I'm not saying there's any conclusions here to make, but
What
it's
identity was
interesting
put
that
onto you?
Naval and Taoism and Buddhists all are the proponent of lack of desire, yet desire is the one thing that has been driving me forward and driving people like Elon forward. And I also always
That's
wondered,
true.
I thought about this on the bus. What drives Batman to become Batman? Like in a real world, let's say Batman existed. Why the fuck would he do what he does? He would have to enjoy it for some degree. He would have to. He would have to.
Yeah.
You'd have like there's no way somebody would put them through that much suffering if not a single part of them did enjoy it a little bit. They would have to
No,
because
they could. They
otherwise,
could.
like they would just do something they like.
No, not necessarily. They could put themselves through it for whatever reason. You don't necessarily have to like what you do. Like there's plenty of different reasons why people can do things. You look at my case, you look at your case, you look at Naval's case, you look at Elon's case. For me, I could fall into the Naval path right now, but like there's like confirmation bias at play. For example, y your goals happen to be what society values and will allow you to survive, thrive, and such, just like amongst the kind of
The only
walls of
reason that my
capitalism.
goals align with this society is that in my desire, in my lack of peace, we come to similar conclusions. As in, not every person agrees with what I want to achieve in the end game, yet the people who do want it very badly. And so it's just a
No,
happenstance
the
that more desirable filled people share the same sentiment, which is interesting. It's
the
interesting in the
important
sense
people do
that
too.
hmm?
The,
It's
the
interesting
important
in the
people do
sense
too.
that it's interesting in the sense that these people seem to be, to me at least, equally un at peace, if not more. Which is it like saying, oh, is accepting your circumstances, is being peaceful, is being peaceful, is being peaceful opposite to innovation, to, I guess, rapid innovation, to efficiency? Is it
Fuck yes,
inefficient to be peaceful?
of course.
And
And you're
so,
right. Elon's the only guy. Elon's the only guy still going. Elon and Zucker are the only guys still going.
and and they're killing themselves while they're doing it, and they fucking love it every second of it. And I love it.
And I
So,
I try
will I
to
ever be
imply.
peaceful? No.
Well, that's I think that's impossible to derive. But the point is that it completely like yeah, you probably will. Just like
Mhm.
statistically speaking, most people fall off their ambition.
Oh,
But
that I could not fathom that as of right now. And if I do, and I see
yeah,
myself,
that's nice.
and I watch this back, and I see myself say that, I would be disappointed if I was not at peace and had fallen off.
No,
But
how
like,
could you
why?
fall
Like,
off if you weren't at
it's
peace?
interesting that you frame it that way.
That's
Pardon?
if you. How could you fall off if you weren't at peace? That means somebody
That's what
coerced
I'm
you to
saying.
it.
It's interesting that you frame it in the way that you fall off, as in you discontinue driving yourself towards a common goal. Because when I see it, I think, huh, like how could I ever do that? How could I ever just stop creating new things? How could I ever stop being at the forefront of the innovation? How would
Yeah,
I ever decide, oh, this
and
is
you're
not
also
for
you're
me?
also like insightful and forward thinking enough to know that you can become a completely different person,
Of course.
right?
But
So
as you said, as we discussed earlier, or the point that I was trying to make with identity is that it's a fickle thing, yet the aspects of your character that you wish to continue to value and that serve you correctly, it will become a stable proponent in that fickle thing. And I mean, there's parts of your character that you simply can't truly deny. But for me, I feel like a lot of things that I used to be had just disappeared, and I can't remember how I did some things like that. I can't remember that I enjoyed that, but things that have served me well, I have kept, and they've been a part
yeah,
of me because I
you can't
decided I
you can't
wanted to
deny
be.
them, but you can embrace them, play them out, and then let them disappear at their own pace, right? So
Yeah, once you like, if you accept them, and then they they're just
they're
there.
gone. Well,
Over
they're gone.
time, if you're not focusing anything about it, they'll just fade away because they don't really provide any usefulness to you. Like, for example, if you make a certain kind of joke all the time and you like that joke, it's served you funny before, it stops being funny, you'll stop telling that joke. And that's actually equally evident because I like being funny, I like being like witty, and
Yeah.
it sometimes it doesn't serve me well, but often, like it helps me socialize to a much higher degree. And at the hackathon, people
Hmm.
were respecting me for it, and I didn't really know, like I didn't really like. There was nothing I really felt like saying. It was just like they were like, "Oh, you're sociable," and I'm like, I didn't even notice. It's just like it's just something that I did because it's just something that was part of me. My goal was
Right.
not was it was not
Yes, so
particularly
it's you,
anything. It
it's
was just
you.
that something.
But ironically, once again, it happens to fall into the path that your supposedly kind of true to yourself character traits are admirable and desirable. You'll remember a time when you tried to be funny on purpose in order to get other people to like you. So it's like, again, like there's too much at play here. You can't really, as you
Very
know very
interesting
well, you can't really dissect
because
your own psychology.
well, why don't we try to? Because if you,
Yo, I talked to
it's
Ben
interesting
Klein.
that you
I
say.
talked to Ben Klein at the start of uni, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like, um, like you had it, let's say, more in high school," and I told him like I didn't give a shit, and he's like, "Yeah, that's good," but it's like I gave a shit for fucking years, and then it happens, and then you stop giving a shit, right?
Mm,
So it
yeah. No, but that's interesting. I want to go back to what you said, where it was um you're were you referring to you're picking and choosing your character traits or what have you not? It just happened to
consciously.
serve you and it simply came about. And um when you said, "Oh, just one day you decide to be funny and now it's suddenly part of your character." That's what I was thinking about. It's super interesting how people are so definitive about their identity, yet they ignore all the parts of them that they've rejected and thrown away as a result of the fact that it didn't really serve them any purpose. And the further thing there is that it is that the fact that you took a risk to challenge the status quo to where you were able to change. Because if you never take that chance, you never decide to choose, oh, what if I could be this person? Because it's not set in stone. Even if you're a million years old, even if you're 56, like nobody gives a shit. Nobody's thinking about you. If you change, you change. But like in that sense, you'll never be able to become a different person if you remain in your comfort, which is not it's not crazy to say because everybody says it, but intuitively you have to realize that on a psychological level, if you don't take risks, then you'll have less things to have understood that you were able to do. Or better yet, understood that you could do everything, yet you just decided that this identity, this ego was definitive.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so,
And as we grow older, generally everybody gets farther and farther away from that flexibility. They become less and less like water. That's why the first thing I said is I try to, as much as possible, implicitly create this kind of eternal faith in that the action of meditation is net positive, because that is, of course, the one thing that um, will kill your ego and thus not remind you, but well, actually, yeah, I guess remind you that you can still change your identity, and that's the one thing that I see for us, and I also see as kind of a breaking point for us is when will is if at some point somebody stops, somebody gets too caught up in themselves, in the kind of qualities that they've established for themselves, and that's where I was in the first sem. I was so scared of becoming specialized in something. That's why I really felt uncomfortable in business class, because I was supposed to internalize theories as fact, and I was like really scared that I wouldn't be able to forget them later, or like let other competing theories into my arsenal. And then of course and then that's why I then literally automatically went to Jordan Peterson to refer to his kind of Peter Pan analogy, right? Which is you have to specialize with faith that on the other end you'll be able to come out of it and rethink. And that's why I'm still going in something that is very much not me, because I have utter faith that at the end of it all, it could be 10 years, right? Like Gary Vee's about this, and I can internalize this very well. Like what? Because I was like, well, really, I want to be a production manager. Like I still just want to do that, right? If it's like outside of like any sort of like family stuff, right? Shit, man, like I'm 50. Okay, go do it now. Like, what does it change, right? The same way that if somebody tells me, well, what if next year you decide that you actually want to do computer science? Then I'll pick up a textbook and do computer science. Like, oh, but you won't be in the university. I'm like, I thought you said I wanted to do computer science. Then I'll do it, right? So that's the one thing that I
Wow.
have faith in, and that's or the one thing that I think is important. And you said it's important, and that's why I'm tying in like Sam Harris.
If
Like,
you let
this is the way.
your circumstances and your environment define who you are and not your wisdom, then you are easily replaceable and just so easily unstable.
You have to let it
So,
momentarily define who you are, though, because you have to stick to something, as I am. Um, but that's why I keep going back, right? Like I'm so eternally fearful of not being able to pop back out of it. But every time
mm,
I come to the same. Every time I re-deliberate with myself, I am literally having discussions. Which this is the most interesting point of this conversation, which I'm glad we had it. It is super interesting that you pointed out that while you are acting in ways that are very very true to yourself in your career and just in general in your life as it relates to that, I am acting in ways that are not necessarily very true to myself. However, I don't see any value in being necessarily true to myself. Or rather, I'm not scared of not being true to myself because in I don't believe that being true to myself is what will serve me best at this time.
or, or or do you believe that what you're doing could not become yourself? And I know you understand that. Um,
Of course, of course.
but
Sorry, what are you saying? What are you
what I'm
asking?
saying is that what I'm saying is that ditch the notion. I don't know if you I feel like you have internalized this,
Yeah,
but ditch the notion of, well, myself, the ego, but also ditch the notion that you're not being true to yourself, because if you're doing it and you're actively choosing to do it, and if it's driving you to more peace, which you say you've already achieved, then how is that untrue to yourself? It
it's
may not
interesting.
be.
You're taking it to like the second level. Where you're like, well, it must be true to yourself because you're doing it, right? That's an interesting point. It
That's what
it
I'm saying. If Batman
which is
wants
like
to fight
which is
crime, he
you're
probably
right.
fucks with it for some degree.
You're
He
right.
has to.
And that's super mindful actually, right? Because it's the whole notion of like I talked about how like every time you just go up a level of like object of the mind, right? Like you literally took it from there's this thought, oh I'm thinking this thought, and you're like, and then you're there, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm thinking of the thought, that's thinking of the thought, and you're literally like now telling me I'm like, oh I'm not being true to myself because I'm doing this, and you're like, wait a minute, you're doing this. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Interesting point. Interesting point. Um,
Yo,
yeah,
that's what. But the thing is, being able to think about those thoughts means that I've just thought way too much than I've done, and that's quite unfortunate.
and that's
And
actually something
that's
I
the
wanted to
thing.
get into this week. I realized
Get into it.
this week I realized that um, it hit me the reason that I struggle to make money is I'm really not in the mood for it. I'm in the mood for knowledge. And the thing is, this is not
Mm.
shitting on education because actually what I'm about to say is like fully like society as a whole and I agree as well. We all agree um values of course like wisdom over money. Like that's like a no-brainer, right? However, I am now as we were talking about trying to change myself to be to kind of fall into like like a default money mindset, which of course, like Andrew Tate completely put me in that perspective, and that's why I was saying before, when I was like not doing shit, I'm like, yo, the fact that he's not making content is literally is making me do less shit, which you were saying that doesn't really affect me. Interesting, you were acting off of your own. Whereas I'm actually acting, and I've said this from the very start, I am acting fully off his philosophy, and that's why I fucking like I love him so much because he's probably the only person that's ever completely changed like literally everything that I am doing with my life in this certain amount of time. Going back, so it hit me. I am really tuned towards knowledge. And it's actually what I love. And the thing is, for a very, very long time, there was always just the kind of confirmation bias of knowledge equals money. And you get to be the big brain CEO. And that's why I was also in school trying to level up my knowledge of fundamental subjects, thinking that I will then apply that to make a lot of money. And this is completely true. Knowledge does equal money. However, let me give you a fucking great ass example. When I was reading this morning about how to run TikTok ads, and I came across the term A/B testing, which I didn't know what it was. Instead of going to search it up on Google, I ended up spending 2 to 3 hours trying to download, trying to first of all identify what is exhaustively the best intro to marketing textbook ever, looking through Harvard Business School syllabus and shit, right? Then trying to download it, also that I could go and Command F A/B testing in that specific textbook so that I can go and read 20 paragraphs on it, instead of, I don't even fucking know what it means. You just do it, right? And this is the thing. This is why I fucking hate it so much, because going in, it's marketing. Yeah, I love understanding shit, psychology, breaking down why people do shit. And then now you're in it, and it's well, if you want to make money immediately, the whole algorithm is a fucking black box. And even what the pros do is they sit in front of their computer screens and they adjust variables based on what occurs, not really asking themselves, well, how does this affect people? What does this mean about the people on a psychological level? No, you fucking increased this to 2 seconds and then decreased this by 2 seconds and changed the hue by 5% saturation. And now the kind of conversion rate increased by 5%. Good, we're going to do it. Whereas to me, I don't give a shit about that, right? I've never cared. That's why I've never been into science, right? Because and that's why I was saying that a lot of students like me in kind of the WB program struggled with intro to business, because we're familiar with math and computer science, where we get to understand every single thing we do, and we hold ourselves off. I know this completely true, because I think I've said this a million times to lots of people. When I was doing computer science, I started getting bored of it once we started doing stuff like iOS development and web development, where it's framework. I was yo, let me write fucking machine code on a piece of paper. I like to, and then build it up, right? So I love knowledge and understanding things, and especially when I'm trying to skip all of this stuff to try to just make a quick buck, it doesn't convert at all, because it takes so much longer to learn stuff to the point where you can actually convert it into cash. You can do stuff and get cash.
And it's actually interesting. It's actually interesting because what I think I believe to be true. I don't know for certain, but I often see that what we're doing essentially in gaining wisdom. And actually, a side note, I realized a lot of things on that come to me to derive what the current societal systems that are in place today, which goes back to the main point. I realized that the wisdom that we are gaining, which is at an accelerated rate, is so that we could catch up with the rest of the society. We could get to that standard. That's why when we feel like we're learning a lot of knowledge, especially in university, that we think, oh, these people must be bozos. Why am I so knowledgeable? How do I understand this more? And it's honestly low-key a fake belief to say that you are to some degree better than these people because they have more specified knowledge and whatever the nuances make them different. But it's just because we get that compounding effect that knowledge is more accessible, and it is trying to make sure that we catch up at an accelerated rate. And so with this, I realized I never really regretted not thinking. I've never really regretted that I spent time thinking about something before I took action yet. Obviously, there's going to be a point where you should have taken action. There's definitely been circumstances where I should have acted more. However, it's just that we are in a competing environment where we have to catch up. Otherwise, our failures will be too abysmal to, well, I guess make any substantial progress because it'll be like, oh yeah, all these people have made thousands of these issues, and all these people avoided these issues and still were successful. So we're essentially in the search for knowledge, in the search of wisdom, we are catching up to what they're doing. And I no longer feel, as you said, you're in a mood for wisdom, which I think is you're in a mood for knowledge, and I think that's super, super valuable because I feel in the same position. Like I'm in the
Always been
mood
there.
to catch up, or rather, it's necessary that I do so. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of holes missing.
That's why we love big brain
Um,
CEOs. That's why we love
mhm.
Silicon Valley. As Naval said, you're judged based on what you know. That's why the equation has always worked for us, whereas other people didn't care.
Because we've been searching for it. We've been like, okay, what do we not know yet? Like, what's out there? What's in the domain? How can I increase it?
Yeah, that's why
And
like
so,
Satya Nadella is like more interesting than Cobra Tate, and yet actually makes much less money, literally. And in my brain,
mhm,
it's like, how is that even possible, right? Because I confuse the two. It doesn't
facts,
take
facts.
any fucking knowledge to run a webcam business. You just have to be a fucking G, right? Whereas the stuff that he does, like I'm sure like Satya Nadella probably like reads fucking 40 books a year. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I would love
Mhm.
to do that.
And Andrew Tate hates reading books. You
He's
see,
reading books,
that's
yeah.
the thing, right? Like, you realize, like, when you get more knowledge, like, you realize that it's not difficult to convert some value into a lot of money, but it's difficult to provide
Question.
value both to yourself and to other people at scale, because at that point you're trying to do something that either fulfills you or something that um you think is morally good. And being morally good and making money, it's not, well, I don't know if it's hard because I haven't really attempted it yet, but um I think that's what I want to make sure that I do. Like I'm not saying, actually I do think porn is a little bit amoral, but um I think like I just think that, like, sure, I could make money running, like if I spent all my money, all my time, sorry, for working on something like maybe a social media branch, or make working on something like marketing or whatever, I probably could make a few extra bucks as a high university student. And in fact, I'm gonna try it out. Um,
That's why I haven't made any money
I,
selling posters. I don't give a shit about posters. You know what I mean? Right?
yes, yes.
And
And
yeah,
like you can, and you probably will make money off of it, but it's just like, like I want to learn about what I want to do as well. So, and that's where the apathy comes in for like shit like,
yeah.
unnecessary courses in university. Like if I'm not gonna fucking do this later, or not even later, if I don't even think this is part of the end goal, if I already know enough, if I already know what I need to know, and to think, okay, well, I'm probably not gonna spend any more time on this for the rest of my life, then like, no wonder you're not succeeding. It's because you don't give a shit, and that's fine.
It's always cut us off because why do we stop working on motive, right? Not because it would have failed to make money, because I wanted to work on artificial intelligence in the music industry, something that would ROI much farther away. But I found it very impossible for myself to work on anything that would converge in like the next decade, right? Like it's too real. I feel like this is also a human thing though. It's the natural bias away from action, right? So there's two things at play. There's the factor of the love for knowledge, and it's like the love for knowledge and like shit that matters, as in you know parties are pretty degenerate activities. um and then as well, it's the kind of typical human thing, right? Like when you're learning something, when you're doing of course, the free market, you get money. That's the ultimate and really only kind of perfect, non at all influenced by any other factors, kind of judge of how good you are at something. Everything else is skewed, right? Like how much did I learn here? How much did I learn today? Right? Like you can always be efficient in learning. I don't know, you can go to like a dumber school, you'll be smarter supposedly, right? But money is money, and It's that kind of natural
Mm.
tendency away from doing things that are truly productive, which is, again, like, reiterating all of my theories for the year. I'm trying to do things that are 100% ROI, and seeing how much that goes against the grain of who I am. But yeah,
I think we're aligned here. And
yeah.
so with that, I decided we should move on.
All
So
right, let me get
um
in real quick. I wanted to say this at the start because I've been wanting to say this
yeah.
like for the past like 24 hours, because I watched the All In podcast over the past 2 days, and
Ooh.
okay, because we always talk about the All
I
In
didn't. This
podcast.
is the first time I didn't.
Well, anyways, Jason was being a bitch, and then I realized, yo, POV, it's 30 years from now. All right, Sunday night, we're flying in. We just finished listening to the All In podcast. Everything's changed, bro. There will only be one burial that's the same, right? Everything's changed. Fucking Chamath is on his fifth girlfriend slash wife, who knows? Sachs is now the president of the United States with a more controversial election than Donald Trump. Friedberg is richer
Yeah.
than all of them, including his net worth is
Real.
like Elon Musk now. Which, you see, we love Friedberg. Why do we love Friedberg? Because he's the knowledge guy.
Yeah. His and like it's a delayed gratification. Like
Yeah,
we can see that the potential in it.
that's
We can
why
see that
we
he's
want him to
gathering
win.
knowledge.
That's why we want him to win. We also know it's low-key true, right? Like, because we know how this shit works. But it's extremely long term, right? And literally,
Mhm.
what did I literally base my whole dropping out thing on? Is I'm done waiting 50 years for ROIs, but I even see it in myself now, where I'm like, the companies I want to be working on will only converge in like 20 years. Anyways, finally, Jason will be like living in a box or something. I don't know. Anyways, so you and I fly in
Nah,
to the
that's not even gonna happen. Jason is going to be in the same office in the same house with
bro.
the
I
same
swear to God, if
webcam.
he has the same fucking house. Anyways, it's 20 years from now. They'll all be very gray. Everybody's aged. Things are different. You and I, nothing's the same, bro. We fly in on the PJs to the motive
Nothing was
set,
the same.
wherever it is. You know what I'm saying? You have fucking 30 robots serving you, and
Oh, well,
the world. I have 30 children. Hattie has like 3 wives. We sit down, we say, "What's up?" And what's the first thing that comes out of our mouth? Bro, why was Jason being such a bitch this week?
Yo, that is so wholesome, bro. That's the one thing that won't change.
That's the one thing that won't change.
I'm glad.
They'll all be like looking hella old by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be talking slow.
Yeah. We need
We'll
Yeah,
one
start.
thing
nah.
to hold
Our
us
humor.
down,
I don't think
bro.
our humor will ever really change. Like, it's just kind of there. It's just
Nah, you
something
know
I
what?
like.
I think it will
Hattie,
change. We'll just laugh even louder.
yeah. Oh, I
We'll
like that
like
one. I
keep
like
the
that one.
same like kind of
Hattie, I
like
think
lingo
Hattie, I think
though.
you'll be much more of a pimp by then.
Oh,
I think
you laugh
hopefully
because you know it's true.
We'll see.
Guy, we'll
that's
see.
John. That's
Yo,
actually probably the best goal I've ever heard. If somebody asks you, "What do you wish for yourself in the future?" I hope that my laughs get even louder.
Be a pimp, bro.
ah,
You got
yo,
it.
yo,
That's a good one. That's a good
that's
one.
actually what I wanted to talk about next, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Great transition, because I was on the
Of
bus with
course.
Yufeng the other day, and we were just
Okay.
talking, and I told him like, there's this feeling that I'm having, and I can't
Okay.
describe it. And I I noticed that I've gotten so good at when I feel a feeling, I grab it, hold, and
Oh,
I scramble my face in that feeling. I let myself embrace that feeling, and I've come to realize that like it stemmed from this one thought that, yo, like, why do people say that their childhood was brighter? Why do people say that they felt more?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
there's the novelty, but why don't I just choose to feel things a little bit harder? And ever since I decided to feel things, and you know what? Thinking about you actually made me have a good example of that. Because I remember one day you were on the beach. We were at Mooney's Bay. I'm sure you remember this day, and it's
Yeah, I remember this
having a
day.
stressful day. I'm pretty sure that
Great
same
day.
day Miss Ferris was being a, I think Miss Ferris was being a bitch to you or something. She was
No,
doing
no,
something
no.
to you, and then
So Tim called me. Because
Yeah.
we were just, because what it was, and this relates to what you're about to say probably, is that I was in Toronto and life was great. And I've been dealing with this ever since I was a kid. I would always say that, sorry, horrible timing. I would always say as a kid is that, like, I would tell some parents, like, I don't like traveling because whenever I come back, I feel, not just I feel a low, like emotionally, I'm just like, well, why can't I just do that always, right? Like I was always like that. And
Mm.
so same thing. I was in Toronto, and only when I came back did I realize how fucking dull my life is. And this call triggered, and this call and him saying like some shit, like I don't know, like I forget what he said, but it triggered me, and I was like, fuck, I hate my fucking life here, relative to where it was. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah, you were saying.
That's insane. And that's, that's a similar emotion. I could feel that. I could feel that. I could relate to that because, I would be super frustrated. I'd be thinking, damn, like, why am I frustrated? Or I would be doing something and I would reflect on what my life has become and I realized, like, wow, I haven't been feeling so up, or I haven't been feeling like, I, essentially it feels like the experiences have been dulled. It feels like it's been numb, and a lot of people relate to that. And
Interesting,
so,
interesting.
seeing you throw that tantrum, throwing your phone, being pissed the fuck off, going crazy, jumping
Yeah,
water, I remember thinking, even then, looking back, like, even then, I wasn't thinking, oh, what is this guy doing? I was thinking, damn, I need to join him. This is fire. I wish I could feel the same way. And now, when I'm here, I'm like, wow, like, there's so many emotion that's free to me to
yeah,
access in my brain,
yeah.
yet we're taught to dull it away. We're taught to try to push it off. But I think the
Yes.
most beautiful thing about being a human is embracing those
Always be
emotions.
happy.
I feel
Always
like
be
that's
happy. Oh, why aren't you happy?
not
Oh,
even always be
how?
happy. I don't even think it comes to that. Of course, be grateful, and I think peace will
No, I'm
bring
saying
that
people
joy
say
along
always
with
be
it.
happy. If I this is why I
Oh,
hate it when people. This is why I'm always fake when people. Because if I'm real, it's like, how do you feel? Like shit, but I could. It goes down deeply. Oh well, it's almost the weekend. Hope you feel. Maybe you'll feel better then. Like, why do I need to feel
no,
better, bro?
bro. Like I feel like shit right now, and I want to feel like shit right now. I
Exactly.
want to embrace it fully. I want, bro, like literally, I was so frustrated with myself, um, like last night, because I was like, damn, like Raghav is grinding. Why am I not grinding? Why do I want to feel asleep? And I got so angry. I was like, holy fuck. Why am I always behind? Why am I always
Yeah,
not on point?
yeah,
And I was so pissed
yeah.
off that I woke the fuck up and I just worked. I just
Facts,
worked.
facts.
And it's
I've been
stuff
doing
like
that
that
shit.
where, there'd be a feeling and it would be pulling itself away. Cause like, the comfort in me would be like, no, no, like you need the rest, you need less. I didn't sleep a lick. Me and Raghav slept maybe like 30 minutes to an hour.
I didn't sleep from
But
last
we
Sunday to Tuesday.
and I liked it. I liked it. And I felt like shit
Maybe
the next day and I embraced it. They were like, yo, you look dead. I'm like, I know, bruh. It's fucked. And they were like,
This is
yo,
life.
you
This
should have
is life,
slept in
bro.
like,
maybe the strat
We're
is to purposely piss
dude.
yourself off so you can actually
It's
work.
it's crazy how we're
maybe,
right where we
Hattie.
fucking should
Maybe.
be. Like
W strat.
Yo,
I
facts.
look at my fucking tiny ass dorm with my little fucking Shopify portal and my 75 Uline tubes, mailing tubes, and I'm like, yo, take an image, bro. This is where the fuck I expected myself to be at this age. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
literally envisioned this.
And that's important too, because you envisioned this and
Yeah,
you expected it. So it's honestly a waste of you. It's very unwise of you to decide, okay, I'm here, I expected this, so let me just keep pushing forward. Let me shut everything down and just focus on the one thing. Yeah, focus, but allow yourself to embrace it because that's the
of
experience. If you
course,
don't
man.
embrace that feeling, you know, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like you're gonna look back
It's
and be like,
almost
damn, what was
backwards
I
because we've
doing?
been taught so much that you have to fail before you can succeed. That like I'm not even happy when I fail from like a Gary Vee standpoint. I'm just like, oh, this means I can succeed now, which is completely unproductive because it's not a good measure
Yeah.
of whether you can succeed or not. But like that just goes to show how fucking. By the way, another thing society did poorly is like, yo, too much of that you need to fail. Anyways, dude, what you're saying now, there's so much important shit to this because
Mhm.
one thing is like I
Yo,
was feeling
thank you,
this
bro. Thank you, bro.
a little bit earlier. This is only one of the important factors of this is like I was thinking about this. I feel like a little bit earlier where I was feeling like really really shit. I don't know if it was earlier today or maybe yesterday. Like I was feeling like such shit, but like I just knew that like, yo, I get to call John soon, and like we come through, and like nothing matters, bro. No matter whether I didn't make any money, whether I'm still broke, even if I fucking was a complete waste, which I
Yes,
wasn't.
bro.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes, bro.
Like, like
Yes.
it's like at the end of the week we get to come through, and that's another thing, right? Like, and the thing is, this I am finding a lot of analogy to this, and this is why I said we should move in together because we need
Yo,
the thing, right?
yes, bro.
But the thing is, like, this is analogous to when Andrew was always being asked, like, well, shit, like, why do you still feel good? And he's like, because I have Tristan around. And what I found is that it's like at the end of part of the reason that as well I can feel comfortable throwing it all away is that at the end of the day, like I can come here. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like it's like, and you know, like even like when my mom texts me, and she like she's like, oh well, like how's it going? And like honestly, bro, like saying like it's not going well is like with the business is like the most like devastating thing. You know, like I feel like such a
Yeah.
letdown. And she's like, and I like tell her how much sales have. She's like it's okay, like it's still a start. You
But if
know,
you come here,
like
bro,
it's
if
like
you
the
come
most.
here and you say that, if I tell you, yo, I was lazy all week, sure, it's bad, but it's like, it is what it is.
It
We'll talk
it's
about it
not
and
even
we'll move
that.
forward.
It's just because of how early this relationship started. You know that there's still a genuine love, and that's why it's important to recover. And okay, I don't want to get too fucking manosphere-esque, but I don't know, maybe there's this idea generally that like
I
um
like that
that like
manosphere.
you're that like your first few girls, like you can stick with them, but like after that, it's like you're probably going to be like a bit more of a manho, um which like is a general idea. Like everybody knows about like getting jaded and shit, right? Like that says all this time. And it's the truth, isn't it? Right? Because like, oh, or like why like you can't get back together with your ex because it's like, well, they like the trust is broken, right? But it's like the point is they started with you at a point where it was like there was nothing to it except for like love. And then
Mhm.
once everything eluded, you know 100% that they've been there since there. So it's like this is the one thing is that amongst all of these kind of poor feelings, we know that we still have like this kind of realness that's very fundamental, And we have all of our boys around us as well who don't give our fucking rat's ass about how successful we are in
Mhm.
that sense, which most people, it's I realized earlier this week that most people still automatically think of success as in like success, which
Yeah.
I know it's kind of weird for me to, I feel like I'm really weird. I feel like I'm being like overly dramatic saying this and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, no, like, because I was talking to my sister and she just used it normally. And again, like, it's so normal of her to use that. Like, it's not really bad of her, but like, it's crazy. Like, like, I kind of know that success is like money and shit, but like, not really. Like, I feel like I've been too
Oh,
technical with it for too long. Like we
success.
always know that
Success is peace.
it's whatever. Yeah, it's like whatever you define it. So, anyways, that's one thing is like the fact that we we always have we always have people who will love us no matter what.
Mhm.
But the other part is just like, yeah, bro, like fuck yeah, like we're feeling however we're fucking feeling, and like
Bro,
I ain't no bitch. Like
yo, like when I come here, man, it's actually crazy that you bring it up, bro, because I feel the exact same way. Like there's
yeah,
some shit that happens in my life, and honestly, it's made me a lot more humble. Not in the sense of that I choose to, but it's like I don't want to tell anybody else this shit. Like I want to be like a little fucking spy kid and
yeah,
tell him
yeah,
what's
yeah,
going on,
yeah,
because I'm just pulling up on my week and I've done some crazy shit, and it's like, oh man, like
yeah,
none of these people will provide me. Well, maybe it's not even that I don't even care what they'll say, but it's more like yo, like I gotta tell my boy what's been going on.
right,
And that's a great
exactly.
feeling. It's a great
So
feeling to amplify.
and and to have true friendship, like again, Andrew with all the true shit he says, like it's like he really is speaking fact. I feel like at our caliber, we operate for whatever reason, as we found out, whether that be implied for reasons, or like natural to you. It's like we operate at a level where shit gets really really fake. Like there's a lot of like money involved, and all these success things, right? And it's like I have a feeling that real friends are super duper hard to find at this level, because then there is always that sort of weird uh kind of like what they say versus what you see in your life reality kind of thing, where like the sphere will say like, oh, like like no realness exists, and then I'll look at my family, like I'm like, well, I feel like my parents have like they, I wouldn't call them ride or dies, but like they have like very very good friends that will help them out and shit, right? So it's like, and like, like even like, I don't know, like my sister has like a boyfriend, and like they're like super normal, right? So you see this like normal shit, everyday shit, but like at the same time, I, if it exists there, I have a feeling that it fades away as you kind of move into like 10 $100 million areas. But because of
But
that,
bro, like,
it just makes this so much more stronger, so much, because it's just so much more
yeah.
important. And like I feel like maybe that's why at their level he's like, yeah, like I don't really fuck with girls like that. Like I just got my brother. Like maybe
Mm.
that's why. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so yeah. I
And
mean,
that's
it's
that's
100.
that's always so admirable, man. And like when I see that, cause like, bro, it's that brotherhood. Like, there's a difference when you say it's my family, and then when you say like that's my brother, bro. Like that
Yeah,
connotation behind it,
yeah,
it's just like it's different.
yeah.
Cause it's like, bro, like when you're brothers, it's like ride or die. What happens is like, oh shit, like
It's
you
like all
got this,
in.
bro. Like it is all in. You put your chips in, bro. Like, okay, I'll throw mine at the other guy. Like, we got you. We got it. That's
Yeah,
beautiful, bro. It's so beautiful,
yeah.
and we
So
cherish that, man.
that's proper.
And yo, like, man, like when I feel these kind of things and like it comes up, bro, I've found myself coming to a lot more enjoyment, like and it's not like, and I'm like, yeah, you could say I've been feeling like maybe probably on average more bad than I have been, but I've also felt more good on average, and like I just felt more emotions in total. Like the variety pack has increased. I've downloaded more DLCs, and
Which
I've
is
enjoyed it.
amazing. That's the whole point. That's why I'm
It's
fucking
it's
doing
the
this.
point, bro.
I'm
Like
I'm I'm
like
doing
I
this
realize, like,
to
in
for
these
mine.
progressions that move
Yeah,
forward, as we said, like before, I think like people just progress, and you see like I like this idea of regression where you hit a peak and then you fall back to the basis after
yeah,
you've gained some sort of wisdom or experience.
yeah.
And another analogy you could take is that when people grow old, they become kids again, and maybe that's akin to them actually losing brain power, but it also could be
It
that
can be. No, literally though.
they've also could have realized that it's kind of boring to just live a one plane life. Like you have to have all these
It's because
different
they lose their
variables.
responsibilities. That's actually one of the major reasons, is that they lose their responsibilities. Um, and of course, I realize that maybe I can't play on that field, whereas before I was very anti responsibility, as a kid. Not like kids are like, don't take on responsibility, as in like I thought it, but because what we were talking about, like as a reminder, and we may or may not get into kind of more, uh, you know, re-verbalization of what our goals are this year, but it's like I was always talking about how I I also, part of the reason that I'm doing this is that I'm risking I'm risking a lot of things to get a new kind of high that is fueled by money and connections and, um, like being like more charismatic than I am right now, in like in context where it can be applied, like, like if I really wanted to apply myself, I suppose I could be like, you know
I think,
great in
you know what?
university,
I think
but
the
it's just
driving
not
force
really,
for a lot of that,
it's not a
it's
huge
what,
kind of up. It's not a huge step
yeah,
up. So
yes, yes.
so it's like I'm like, and the whole point was that I've done so much. Well, I might as well just try to go even fucking higher. I might as well shoot for
Exactly,
that, right? So
exactly.
here we are. Just
I
fucking
think I
shooting
think
for it.
the
Which I'm
argument for
glad you
that
just
is
reminded me.
that, bro, and it's interesting that you bring that up as well, because as Naval says, like like novelty is super important, and people tend not to do things as a result of novelty. They lose that sense of, oh, this is like providing more value. And I think honestly an arbiter of a lot of my drive to go forward is the idea that I haven't experienced something, but more so on a more mental level, it's that I haven't had that feeling. I could imagine myself having that feeling, but that's not enough. I want to have that
Yes,
feeling when I'm in that
facts,
exact environment.
facts, facts, Facts. It's not
That's
enough
why I
to
don't want to
live
be a
in a
Buddha.
fucking
That's why I don't want to be a Buddha. Because if I could be a Buddha, I'd be happy and I'd be chilling. But like at the end of the day, I want to have gone that feeling. I don't want to stay like a billionaire for my whole life, but I want to get there and be like, yeah, I made it.
exactly.
Okay, what's the next thing?
Well,
That's it.
this is what I've always said is that people always talk about, or the rich love to say how they got money and then they realized it wasn't shit. And I'm like predicting that this will never happen to me. And it's the truth, like you can talk to me about my fucking Apple products. Like,
Hmm.
do I fucking ejaculate every day when I see them? No, obviously not. But am I fucking well aware if I think about it that I would first of all be completely pissed off if I didn't have them. Just like that's the first thing, right? Is like if I didn't have them, like what the fuck? Like I'd be utterly pissed off, right? And second of all, like they're fucking sick. It's like, no, bro. Like when I get to roll up in a fucking luxury car, like no, that's gonna
In
be
a
fucking sick.
Mercedes AMG?
And
Yes, bro. I
and
want to be
after
at the
20 years,
party.
and after 20 years, after
BMW.
25 years, like if that's the only thing that still stays,
Yeah.
no, of course I'm gonna be pissed off if that's the only thing that's still there. But again, that's just applying this whole pessimistic society view to self-improvement, as in, oh, you're gonna get there and then you're supposedly not gonna continue self-improving.
Bro,
So
they're adverse to
so
their own advice.
so
They say,
yeah,
"Oh,
it's like
experience new shit," but then they say, "Oh, like don't try to
only
do
within
this."
our context. Um,
Yeah, it's but
but
yo, I don't
but
know. I've just been
it
feeling great.
requires
Mhm.
rigor in the discipline in which you make your money through. Like it requires that professionalism. Something that I'm just realizing.
You should be able
People.
to both at the same time balance how much you feel and equally have the composure to continue and focus and not be a victim of your emotions. That's what I think learning to become an adult truly should be. And you see that where like you see that the immaturity from a lot of people, but from both sides are people that seem like they can't control themselves, as in control their actions and their thoughts, where they're too sporadic, and that's that Peter Pan vibe. But I think equally immature is the idea of someone who is a proponent of soul success, who is trying to give that a front, who's trying to seem like they're top. And not to say
You're
that you
right. We're
shouldn't
trying
seem
to
that
experience
way,
it for
but
real.
exactly. If you're trying to go and if you're looking for, as you said earlier, if these people don't want success, they want success, then you can see that that's equally immature.
Exactly.
And that's
It's
what I
not
want to
real.
avoid.
Right. Well, I've
Because
always
it's
said,
not even that it's not real, it's
yeah.
more or less that why can't you see that it could be both? Why can't you see that you can have fun while you do this? All I hear is you complain. Why can't I hear you enjoy it? If you don't enjoy it, what the fuck are you doing? If you don't enjoy living, just become a Buddhist monk. Why won't you become the Buddhist monk? Because they're in that intermission stage. And that's why it's a little bit immature. And I'm not saying that's bad, because, I walked that path as well. But, like,
But you know
come
what?
on, man. Like, we're
You know
adults
what?
out here.
I I because it's funny. Obviously, the kind of dynamic on motvpod is that you often talk about others, and I'm like, help me, not other people. But one thing that has been,
Mm, that's interesting.
I don't want to say anything without actual kind of data to back it up. But maybe like one thing that I have been hearing about more lately, I don't know, it could be complete bullshit, but it's just the idea that um like a lot of like young guys, modern guys are like completely without purpose, which again, not necessarily an overarching statement. I go to university, people here have great lives ahead of them and they're living great balanced lives in this system, and that's why I completely respect it. Um, I don't envy it for myself, but I utterly respect it. And in some ways, those people are much more respectable than me. Like I am like a pretty selfish cat, so to say. Although we also talked about in the past week how that's actually utterly untrue, and everything has two sides to it. But like I can up how much I want for myself, and at the same time multiply that by 10 as to how much I want to give back to others, which is actually the case. But anyways, the reason that I relate to this when I hear about it in media. I watch stuff a lot less now. I actually never indulge in it too much. Just to be clear, I I mean I fucking adore Andrew Tate, but except for that, like I don't really spend too much time on YouTube. But
Mm,
I've talked to some people about it. Like they've even told me like some girls have been telling me about like their brothers, like for example, who are like a bit younger, let's say. Um, but the reason that I really relate to it, interesting, yeah, it's actually not about them, it's about me, is or that's why I bring it in, is that I see it in myself because as we talked about, it's like I have that piece, right? I see it in me that I walk a extremely, extremely fine line between success and degeneracy. Not degeneracy,
Mm,
actually, because I'm so fucking apathetic, which I always say this, I'm apathetic, and that's why I kind of saw somewhat of potentially an out like a path for myself in the music industry because I was like, okay, music is really probably the only thing that like I really really give a shit about. Except that's fading away now as I'm in it more and more and more and more interesting. Anyways,
damn, bro.
but
That's actually that's crazy.
a lot of but so maybe we're seeing a lot more kind of young people, young modern guys feel purposeless. And again, I keep caveating all this stuff. I'm sorry, I know it sounds fucking annoying as fuck when I speak because I know it's like hella like conservative esque whatever. But like, let's say like
Nah, bro, talk your shit.
people will report. I'm not trying to make a point though. I'm just pointing out that some people, like let's say Jordan Peterson, will report that male enrollment in university is increasingly going down, right? And again, this is just not really our world. Like in our world, like all of our guys, all the dudes we know, like they're on sun. But you know what? We do see it. Like we know that it's like a lot of guys will sit at home, and it's like, what do they do? And we happen to be the lucky ones because we were smart enough. And this is what I told some of the people who I talked to. I'm like, yo, like low key, that's me too. I was lucky enough because I was somehow smart enough in, let's say, math to be put on a path where I was told you will be successful. And now it's like, okay, well, I can go to university and I see a good outcome in that. But if that didn't happen, it's like there was nothing else sort of grabbing onto me, guiding me towards something good. And so this is
You
and so
wouldn't
I
have
really
realized the entirety of your domain. And that's as you say, it's a fine line between degeneracy and
I still
success.
don't
And
realize it though. I just know that I can achieve and that there is no and that like I just know that I shouldn't be degenerate. I just I just know that like just don't do it, Andrew. Like just don't be a
yo,
bitch.
define degeneracy. Degeneracy is doing nothing.
doing
That's what
nothing.
is,
Doing nothing.
but not in the sense of Buddhism where it's, oh, I'm just at peace with that. It's the sense that you want to be doing something, but you're doing nothing. And that is as in pure chaos. You have no control. Well,
But
yeah, you have
hey,
no
playing Clash
control.
of Clans during class is fucking rampant around here, bro. And that shit pisses me off. And that shit pisses me off. But then I'll go home and fucking I don't know. One day I'll like sleep in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, fuck. Now it's me, which is why I stopped judging people. Part of the reason. There's obviously much more to that. But
Mhm.
anyways, but again, even these why are they playing Clash of Clans? Well, they know that they're going to be able to live a comfortable life. What if
Or
you just
they think that. They think that.
that's the same thing as you know what I mean, right? Like they
They
know in
I
like
mind.
like
they like have that
They're not
confidence.
necessarily
Yeah,
true. They're not necessarily true. It's not necessarily
they
true.
think they're already set.
So
mm.
so here's the deal. But what if you just miss the bar to get into university? Because the point I'm making is that I didn't really grind to get into university, right? Like it wasn't really me.
We were just
So
lucky we were on that
so
path.
I was lucky enough, right? So if
Yo,
you
and
weren't
that's
lucky
interesting
enough,
as well
who
because for
was
a lot
going
of
to
these
be there
people,
to lift you up out of that and show you something in life?
exactly.
When I don't even see it, I just know don't be a fucking degenerate, which it has always
Mhm.
pissed me off, right? Like I never really played video games as a kid. And then but then the interesting thing is I got into it when I became older. And everybody said, what did every dude say about the first semester of university? Who fucking grind in high school? Every dude said, I've never been this fucking lazy in my life. So what happens, bro? You go out into the real world and you're like, shit, what now? So there is nobody is again, I hate to throw these terms out. I don't know if it's lack of religion, whatever. at the same time, the reality is that I see great guys. Like, again, I can take my sister's boyfriend as an example. He's probably like 24 or whatever, right? So the point is, he's gone through the whole university thing. He's got like good job, whatever, right? It's like, but again, we know that all of these things. We talked about this before about the whole like child free thing, the whole child free Netflix chilling. Like, there's a lot of fun to be had when you're young, and that's why I'm trying to get out of this environment, because I understand that this fun is not really like for me. Like, I'm looking for something more, which is basically what my main point of like my first YouTube video, like individually, was I this fun is I it's not necessarily for me. So
Well, your
yeah.
own YouTube video, shameless plug.
Shut up. Yo, I'm so glad I started doing that, because literally I've always wanted to take time to reflect every week, and I never did it because just kept working. And this is the first time where I was literally leaving my house to go somewhere else, this building, and I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to say in my YouTube video? I don't even remember what I said in the last one. So I started trying to remember what I said in the last one. So I had to remember what I did in the week. And obviously in my brain, weeks feel like really, really long. So it's like, now I actually have to reflect. And it feels so nice to reflect on the week past, and
Yo,
sit down here with you, bro, as well. So
of course, bro.
shall we reflect on the week past?
Of course,
Let's do it.
That's
Do
what
it.
we do.
John,
Yo,
it's so beautiful to reflect with you on the week past, because that's just fucking life, and I fucking love life, and
yeah,
I love living life with you in the context of life. And
exactly,
yo,
bro.
it's just beautiful to sit here and share how it's been going with the boys, because
I
we know
love
that
feeling
important shit is happening. Important actions happening. Whether
exactly,
it's
bro.
failures or successes, we know that important shit is happening.
But it's even more than that. I'm so glad to be able to equally share that emotion that you're feeling right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yo,
Facts.
on this weekly note, this week, bro, you know what? It was a mix of being super lazy and probably again the most productive shit I've done in my entire life.
Yeah,
And it all culminated at the
I
end
want
to
to
the
put it the same
hackathon.
way too. Yeah. Me and John had
I
similar weeks, I think.
I
yeah.
have equally been super, I guess maybe unproductive, but the second I felt it, 2 seconds later, I was grinding my ass off,
Yep.
and um, it all ended with the hackathon, and honestly, it's all that I can think about because I'm super sleep deprived.
Yeah,
But
talk about hackathon. How was it?
yo, before that, like this week,
Hacky is interesting. But John,
this week I was, you know what? I realized, as you said, like it's a fine line between degeneracy and success, and I quickly realized that
extremely fine.
I was riding that line a little bit too uncomfortably, where I got to a point where I realized, oh my God, I'm starting to fall back into my habits again. This is looking a little too familiar.
Because
Let me
it's
just
like,
run the fuck away.
because this is 9 to 5, right? And then this is degeneracy, and then this is extreme success, because they're almost like
Yeah,
one and the same. Like, look at Elon Musk. Like, who's to say that he's not a degenerate person?
it's it's
Which we
it's
talked
it's
about.
either you become comfortably uncomfortable, or you become uncomfortably comfortable. And I was comfortable. I don't know
That's
which
why we
way I
always
was
waddle. That's why
uncomfortable.
we always waddle. And
Exactly, because I was comfortable. I didn't really know if
yeah,
I was uncomfortable and being comfortable with that, or
I'm guessing
comfortable
that by
when.
the end of the hour, we will all come to the conclusion that from now on, we shall be completely straight on that side of the equation.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
I realized at the end of the week, I was just plain uncomfortable the whole day and every
how
single day
so?
that week. So,
Proper, proper.
I decided, okay, I realized like maybe 2, 3 weeks ago that I spent my entire first semester of university completely alone.
Mm,
And that was to my detriment.
mm.
I think for myself,
Yeah, I
I
kind of
learned,
split myself a little bit first semester
um,
as well.
yeah, and it's honestly for me, um it's actually really bad because I learn super well when I'm clashing with other people's
Okay,
ideas of reality. It helps me find the
interesting.
truth faster, and I like that. I like being able to like especially with math, like really fact-based things, we're looking for the truth. And so when I'm debating the truth with somebody and we have different ideas, well clearly one of us has to be wrong. And so when I don't have that, I think, okay, I found the truth and I'm not looking for it anymore. And obviously I'm still trying to challenge my own ideas, but having a completely new perspective is always the best thing for me. The fastest thing. It's way more efficient. I don't have to go look for it myself. I can just have somebody say, "Oh, you're fucking wrong." And I'd be like, "Why?" And they'd be like, "This is why." I'd be like, "Thank you." And I realized I hadn't done that for the rest of this semester. So I was like,
Okay.
shit, I need to reach out to my friends and study. And that might have been the most uncomfortable position I had been my whole life because for the first time in a while, which I realized low key to be true, is that I was kind of an idiot. I didn't know what was happening because I didn't show up to lectures. I was working on things that I actually cared about.
Yeah.
And I was just doing whatever else, everything but studying for biology. And so when I came to that room, I was extremely happy, but also humbled because I realized I was looking being a degenerate. That's why I was like, oh shit, because I wasn't doing that. I wasn't focusing on it. I have a midterm in 2 days, and these guys know so much, and I'm like, wow, whoa, they must be geniuses. I went, no, they just weren't being lazy as fuck like I was. And so I was thinking, um, man, I need to do this more often. And I stayed in that room and I stayed the whole time and I was super uncomfortable because I was being humbled every single second. They're like, no, you're wrong. And I'd be like part of me, the old part of me that still lingers like a little gremlin is like, oh my God, that's embarrassing. But the me was just like, thank God he's telling me I'm wrong. And over time, like literally after 30 minutes, I was able to contribute some value. And that's just because, like I'm like that. So I found the
Yeah.
truth and I was able to optimize for it. For the rest of the week, it was like that. I was trying to put myself in uncomfortable positions that I hadn't been previously, and it worked really well. I was studying really hard. I was working really hard. I completed a lot of things, and again, keep having sleepless nights, and I still love it. And then it came to the end of the week, which was the hackathon, and oh boy, that was a doozy. That was probably one of the most, I guess, ego pumping, both um both ego pumping and also deflating in the sense that I was humbled so mightily by all the
Really.
people around me, but in my own abilities I was further pushed up. So for the things that I didn't do so well on, it was highlighted very directly,
Oh.
but the things that I did do well on, it was also equally ramped up. And so I really liked that because it was only an uplifting thing. It wasn't a bring you down. It was like, oh, you do this well, good. And then you could see everybody else who can do some good shit. And it's like, wow, I can't do that. And should I do that? Should I want to do that? And it was like, bro, it was like a fucking movie, man. I honestly didn't expect much of you, Otta Hack, because I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Ottawa. But they provided a really good experience. And they had a lot of sponsors as well. And people were saying like, yo, this is like a really quality event. So I was
Ottawa
feeling,
doesn't lack in technology, though. I find like they have the resources. They're just like not like very far ahead with it.
yeah,
Like
no, I think
West
they don't
is.
lack anything. They just lack willful people who want to challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
this time they
exactly.
did that. And they did that
Yeah.
really well. And
And
so
maybe competition might be a factor in it as well.
yes,
I feel
bro,
like
that's it. Seeing
there's
other
not
people
as much
and seeing
competition
people
either.
display their skills in full truly puts to shame whatever you don't do well and truly makes it apparent what you do well because people see that and they're looking for that because they're building teams and
Yeah.
they're trying to compete, they're trying to see who's better and at the
Yeah.
end of the day whoever performs better wins. And so I wanted to build a clip generator. I wanted to automate some of the shit that we try to get on. And I wanted to do it with, like, me and Raghav were already a team beforehand, but we wanted to recruit more people. Ended up like nobody wanted to work with us because we didn't want to do the challenges. Like, we didn't care about that. We just kind of wanted to do whatever we
Yeah.
felt like it. And so, people were working around us, but like, it started like a lot of people that I was talking to, like, they didn't immediately grind, and that was like, oh, okay, well. Like I don't want to sit here and like talk and socialize. Like I want to work. And so
Yeah.
immediately, Raghav and I sat down. And I mean, like, sure, I socialized a bit. Like I definitely did that for maybe like 2 3 hours. But the second like hacking began, me and Raghav were at the computer and we were grinding. And
Mm.
boy, Raghav works fast. This guy is really good, man. Raghav is super efficient. and he's super obsessed with problem solving. And that was such a beautiful thing because seeing him be so obsessed over solving one simple problem was like so inspiring to me where it's like, wow, this guy gets so focused because he is so obsessed and he just can't live with the idea that he can't solve this problem right now.
Mm,
And I was trying to embody that the whole time.
interesting.
But
Yeah.
yo, we were playing off of each other so well. We were finding unique solutions. We were catching each other, and that's also another thing. Like having being surrounded with people who have wisdom is so beautiful because they will keep you in check. They will find what's
Yeah.
up, and they'll be right. And if you can rely on that pure trust, you can be so efficient because then you don't have to think, oh, I have to babysit this guy. Nah, it's like, okay, you're doing it. Good stuff. You've done it. And so we ended up working on pretty much most of the data set, and we were able to we were just annotating our data set to have it be read by the algorithm, and that's honestly how
Mm,
far as we got. We trained our model. Our model didn't do so well, but at the end of the day, we were one of the few people in that building that trained a machine learning algorithm. And so that was one of the first examples, real world examples of me using machine learning, but also annotating data. And I mean, it's easy to say, like, I learned so much, but especially so, I realized that I'm very keen on observing people's cues, people's little minute details. I've always been good at that. And like in the sense where I for like maybe a few months when I was isolating myself, I didn't really have that realized because I wasn't around myself with people. But when I surrounded myself with people, I realized how good I was at picking over that situation, and people noticed that as well. They were like, "Wow, like I didn't even think you noticed that," or "Man, you're sociable. How do you do that?" And I don't even reward myself for that. It's just something I do. And equally so, some people have that same talent or a same sense of talent where it's like, oh, I didn't even think about it. It's just what I do. And for me, I think the only talent that what I want to be able to acquire out of all the things that people have done is simply the ability to immerse myself and obsess myself so much so in a topic that I will become a master at it. I want to be able to master being curious in full because, I could be a good pianist or I could speak a million languages
Good
or I could be
pianist.
super good at chess or whatever have you not, but I want to know that I have the ability to do that. I want to know that if I really sat down and did it, like there would be nothing stopping me to do that. And I do believe that's the case. But like, man, some people were insane. There was this one guy, his name was Robin. He was from Waterloo, and like people were playing the piano, whatever, and this guy looked so excited to play. I could tell. I could see that. Nobody else thought that, but I knew this guy was like, he was like antsy. He's like, oh, I want to play, I want to play. I looked at him and I was like, can you play? And he's like, he composed himself. He was like, maybe I can play a few songs. And boy, holy fuck, that guy could play. He just pulled it out of his memory, man. This guy just went boom, boom. It was beautiful. Beautiful. I was so astounded. And I was like, holy shit. Because every song that I knew, this guy just knew it. And he played it to fruition. And even the songs that he didn't know, he was like, I don't know if I can play that. He played it. He was like, oh, I guess I remember how it went. And that shit like that is just so incredible to me. I always love seeing talent in its purest form because it makes me think, damn, he's a human, I'm a human, I could be that right now. And I think seeing that in a lot of people and seeing all these minor details and seeing all these unique skills, I think I could really leverage that to allow myself to assume all these other perspectives and assume all these other talents because it's so beautiful and I love that, man. And that's what I felt a lot this weekend. So
Oh, we
hackathon, what a hack! Shout out! It was super fun, super amazing. The food was so good. They provided us bear food. Yeah, that's the one thing my friend also from Waterloo who won one of the competitions.
Waterloo food is not good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody from Waterloo like won something, bro. But yeah, my boy Asvar, he said like he's been to multiple hackathons, but the one thing that was really good is that they had food here and they provided really good food for us. So
Right, right.
you want to hack? That was fire. I pushed myself to the limits. The first night, and I were up maybe until like like 6, 5, and we slept for 30 minutes, and then we went right back to work.
Yeah.
And oh, bro, that was also such a good feeling. I had such a great time
Wait, were
because
you
I
guys
remember,
on campus the whole time?
yeah, the whole time, bro. It was just me. Yufeng was there as well.
At
Yufeng
5
was,
a.m.
yeah, Yufeng was also. Oh yeah, bro. I'm so happy I got Yufeng in because he said, "Anna, I don't think I can do it." I'm like, "No, bro. You're gonna walk in. They're gonna get you in," and he did it. And I saw him, and he made a really good friend. So I was really excited to see that. Like this was a good event. But yeah, I remember, bro, Rogan and I were working so hard. We were really just trying to get this shit done, and we were moving fast. Like honestly, if we continue to work on this, which he said he wants to, and I really want to. I mean, I have to because I'm trying to make clips. But um, like bro, the rate that we were going, that was insane. Like people were building a lot of good apps, and they obviously have way more skill than we do. But we were working in a domain completely unbeknownst to us. We learned so much immediately, and then we were applying it super fast. And we were able to solve these problems so beautifully. And I remember like we were about to sleep and we were just talking, we were just grinding, and we were talking about like life while we were working and reminiscing because Raghav and I, like Raghav used to be my boy. He used to be one of my
Yeah.
best friends on
Yeah.
Knoxdale on the bus, and we were
We went to
reminiscing
Barger
on that.
too.
Yeah,
And I
you went to
remember,
Bergen as well.
yeah, we were talking about that. But we left, and like I left to go get water, and when I come back into the room, bro, like I looked around and it was just people grinding. Like my boy Stefan was grinding, and then my friend over there, Ansvar was working, and then Raghav was sitting right there, and I was like, I just got like a hint of like, oh my God, is this what a startup feels like? Is this what it feels like to actually
Yeah.
create something?
Feels
And
good.
having that feeling, bro, like I maximized that so
Yeah.
amazingly. Like
Yeah.
like I just walked in, and I'm like, is this how it feels like to actually create something? And that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I said, I
That's
was like,
against the
bro, like,
world.
is this what a startup feels like? And I just grinded. We were working so hard, and
Yeah.
like we were trying to sleep, but we couldn't because all we could think about was like, oh, we could have done that. And we would solve our problem. Like we both get up and look at each other and be like, yo, so what yo, we can fix this using NumPy. What if we change this array to a list? What if it
Yeah.
can't
You
this
truly
object?
live inside the social network
Bro, it's
because we all know that. No, literally, you do because simultaneously we all know that AI is revolutionized. Like, bro, I can't even use that term. AI. Basically, we've lived our whole lives with the exact same baseline products of Google and Facebook, and right now, the exact technologies that you are working on are basically making that like completely like they're turning them back into startups. Like Google is basically a startup now. Like, will they win or will they be outcompeted by 20 other different startups who have the exact same
it's
technology as
nice
them,
to see
right?
that.
So you
I
you
like
you
that.
literally live inside the social network. Um, literally, yeah,
And bro, it feels so good, man. And yo, like we actually got like I actually learned like for real this time. For one, I love programming. I do love it so much. But it's also like bro, automating and creating things is super easy. Like I thought it was like so above me, and that's why I'm glad I waited because like I probably wouldn't even know where to start. But now that I've started, like I know how to create something else that I could automate. And like, man, it's actually like, bro, it's honestly pretty simple. Like, bro, deadass, like if like this actually works really well and I'm able to fix a good model, which, like of course I'll be able to. Like we could have clip automation and we could also potentially sell it and that'd be GG's. So,
well,
also,
it's also just like you're getting closer and closer to um well, the computer just thinks of a business and you haven't done the computer, so you haven't done the business, but the computer just thinks and runs the whole business
mm,
because all these dropshipping websites
one
are
step
just based
closer,
on
bro.
TikTok ads, right? So you just automate the TikTok ads and don't sell it to them, then right, you have options in terms of where you want to
Exactly,
make the money,
it
but
is what it is. And yo, like, and the last thing that I did this week, oh, bro, so the last thing I started this week, I started making my social media page for
mm,
like an AI newsletter.
okay.
I was
Nice.
always thinking that I always thought that um I always like thought that like content and high quality content on AI is really few and far between, and especially at like consumable scale. So I just think it'd be fun for me to do it. I'm reading papers. Why not share some of that knowledge with the world? It's all about giving back to the community. So
Yeah.
I want to inspire people using that. I texted you on it. I don't know if you saw that. That was
No idea.
me.
What?
But on Instagram, that was my boy. It's cognify.ia,
Mm.
intelligence amplification. Um, but I spent all night designing like the logo, and I was
Yeah.
like fucking planning out. Like this is me trying to design the logo. I was trying to feel like what I wanted the vibe to be, but um, yeah, like I was just laying out what I wanted it to be, what I wanted to create, what kind of content
Where is it?
I want to do. Look up cognify.ia, cognify.ia. Um, but yeah, bro, I had a great week, I think. Um,
That's good.
I like to say I only remember really
Smart
fond.
the logo. That is quite. Yeah, you're getting pretty good, bro.
Yo, it
Yeah,
was
my
just yo,
yeah.
yeah. Wait. Let me see if you got the right one. Is that it? Yeah, yeah, bro, yeah. Yo,
Dude, I feel like such
cognify
a
dot.
Twitch streamer doing this.
But
I fucking
yeah,
love this
bro,
shit.
I have some more things to create. Yo, we're Aiden Ross out here, man. We're about to be the next one, bro. Get Kai in here,
Oh,
man. Yo, if we can collab, I think actually the goal is to collab with Aiden Ross. That'd be so fucking funny, man. I want to collab with Twitch streamers. That's so
with who?
legendary.
With who?
But yeah,
I
Aiden Ross,
really
man.
Collab with Aiden
we have
Ross.
with Aiden Ross. We have
Nelk
to.
Boys, Aiden Ross,
Oh hell
um,
nah, not no
XQC.
boys.
Yo,
Well, that's
Hattie,
the
your
point.
dream
You
would
have to
come
collab
true,
with
bro.
him.
XQC up in here.
Who's ecstasy?
It would be
Favorite.
me and my boys
Wait,
stream.
should we run dates? I was watching Tate do one of the dates on Aiden Ross's channel.
Oh, like
Bro,
what?
dude,
Like live
yo,
dates?
we'll start.
Like
You know one
Skype
thing I
in
was
type
thinking
shit?
of. You know one thing I was thinking of, John. What if we came in? What if the shtick was that whenever we came in, the first thing we talked about was like what we achieved and failed on this week from our goals from the previous week, and then what are our goals for the upcoming week. And then the idea is that any guest that comes on, we ask them to, like, we loop them into it. Like, for example, if like you and I do it all the
Mm.
time, right? Because that's just normal, because that's what we used to do, like goal squad. But then, like, let's say like Dushan comes in, right? So then we ask him, and then the point is that like now it's like, well, who the fuck literally asked, like, I don't know, Lex Friedman, like, what are your goals for this week? Like,
No,
it's such
that's
a basic
fire,
question.
bro. Now you're right because I was thinking about that. Like, it was hard to
That's like the
incorporate Freddie
first
into
thing.
our conversation because we were so in the flow, and we got to be able to bring other people in the flow. And that's actually, you're actually absolutely right, bro. Because it's like something we do for ourselves to keep each other in check. We could just keep everybody else in check, and that realness, I think, will greatly be appreciated by some of our guests.
Yeah, because
So,
it's like,
yo, that's fire.
but the thing is, it's also interesting because you're right. You're actually so right about that because you right away you know what they're about, literally in terms of where are the productive things. Because it's like you said, what if the Nut Boys comes in? Take in the if you ask like Kyle, like what, like how did you achieve on your goals for the previous week, and what are your goals for next week? Right away, number one, that takes it from like fucking children doing pranks to like legit, because obviously all these people are legit professionals, right? And it's like right away you actually know what they're about, like what's real,
Yeah,
what's
bro.
important to them, and then again it's like it's so unique and so valuable, and it'll show the viewers that these people are professionals, because that's a big thing when you like watch them be like fucking weird, and it's like you don't realize that they're fucking like adults, right? So it's like that's interesting because then it can inspire maybe younger people to set goals as well, because it's like now all of a sudden fucking Mr. Beast is talking
Yeah.
about how much he failed last week and how much he's trying to achieve this week. You know what I mean?
That's
So that could be
nah,
interesting.
nah. That's
That's
fire. That's fire.
okay. So we're
That's
doing
fire.
that's just take now. Okay,
That's
okay,
fire.
okay. All
That's
right.
it. That's it.
Dushan, prep your
Yo,
goals for next week and track them this week.
yeah,
So
you better, bro.
yeah,
You better be
because
ready,
when you
bro.
come in, you better be ready.
Anyways, on that note, my goals for next
Same
week,
like with
I'll just
like
keep it
Pierre
short.
Polyev, bro. Like that's like when like Pierre comes
Yo,
in,
yeah, bro,
and we're
just
like
keeping
basically like
real.
not even. It's the thing is it's cool because it's different, because it's not like what are your political goals. It's like no, like literally like what's on your to do list for the week.
Yeah,
You know what
like,
I mean?
did you complete it? Are you, are
Yeah, and
you,
did
are
you
you
complete
about
it?
that?
Yeah,
And you'll probably often get people who are humbled and be like, you know what, no, I didn't. And then we'll be like, okay, why did that
yeah,
happen?
facts. And then we understand, and now this is crazy because imagine being fucking therapists for these successful ass people. That'll create such good connections because they'll feel good. Because imagine if somebody knows that they're going to get asked those questions. So literally, they quite literally
They
have a better
prepare.
week because of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
true,
And they
bro.
come on and they say like, "Yo, I actually had such a productive week because of you guys." Or how funny
Wow.
would it be to have a fucking politician on here, like a legitimate politician, being like, "So why don't you achieve your goal? Why don't you achieve your personal goals?
Yo, why did you do it?
Like
Like you didn't you
why should
didn't
we
you
vote
didn't
for
please
you? Why should we vote for you to run the country if you can't even run your own
Yeah,
house?"
exactly, bro. Like you're setting the standard, and that's real,
Facts,
bro. That's fire.
facts. That's
It's
fucking
crazy. Like
crazy.
we're already like we already can see like the experiences we're gonna have, and we haven't had it yet, but we know it's down the line, bro. Which is so
Dude,
beautiful. But yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah.
I'm gonna finish off. So goals for
Please.
next week. Make a post for that. The first post. I haven't decided yet exactly what I want it to be, but I want to make one good post next week for that. For my AI newsletter. Next, I'm going to be, it's crazy. We were like, I remember way back in the day, we set these goals for ourselves. And it's crazy, even better still. One of my goals was like, yo, read like something every single week, at least one thing, one paper. And it's crazy that now I read like one paper a day and I'm like, oh shit. Well, I
That's
read to
nuts.
understand. I don't read to grind. I just read to truly encapsulate the theory. And it's crazy that those goals that we had in the past are fully realized in ourselves now.
Yeah.
And so next goal, like create a post. I wanna start off my imitation learning project. I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
capable of beginning collecting data now,
Mm.
so that's really good. Um, I'm I'm gonna try this week with Raghav to complete the TikTok generator. That might take a little bit
Mm.
longer, but I feel like it's definitely doable. Um, and get hundreds on both of my midterms this week. So that's about it. Those are my goals. Well, what about
Good
you?
luck.
Let's hear it.
Actually,
Let's
you
hear
don't
it.
need good luck. You're gonna do it.
That's right. Fire, Hattie. Fire. So which one of you boys want to go next?
I'll go because I wanted to mention a few things of what you said. Number one, you're just reinforcing the idea that I am I need to increase the rapidness of the pace to which I move towards environments where people are just like extremely high level. Like I said like fuck man, like I wish I could just live with Andrew Tate. Like I become so efficient, right? But and that's also why I said like maybe not LA. I realized that in somewhat of a sense like I'll move wherever the best people in my industry are because I need to be around them. I have to be
Mm,
around that level. And that's why right now I'm like, well, it's better to be in isolation than to be, in this environment. But the kind of step up is I just have to be around people who are super high level.
yes,
And
bro.
yeah, that's why I'm moving. That's why I'm trying to create like freedom to move whatever geographic region, because it's just different in person. And you used to complain about um, not being kind of like born into a high level environment. And I mean, you're right. Like that shit matters as fuck.
It does, bro. That's why I
That shit matters
complain a
as
lot
fuck.
about being still in Ottawa, because
Yeah,
machine learners, if
it's
anything, are at
it's.
Alberta or you of
I'm
Waterloo.
saying, yeah, like yeah. So I mean, I need to get to the fucking states
Mm,
pronto.
yes.
Ottawa is beautiful.
It's beautiful, but you know what? Like,
And it's also
I need
not
to be where
beautiful. Like, let's keep it
yeah,
Yeah,
real.
like
but I
I
get
don't
where
even know what that means actually.
where you come from. I get where you come from.
I do not
It's
get where you're coming from, Hattie.
it has its ups and downs. But
I
I like
Andrew.
I love the city though. Okay,
I know you like the buses, but
I love the
I'm
peacefulness.
more of an Uber guy, so
Yeah, you're just an Uber guy. You don't see the rest of the city.
All right,
nah,
what
bro.
did you do this
See
week,
it.
Andrew? Let's hear it.
All right, yeah. So, moving in from that, the second point to what you were saying, which transferred into me was, oh, that you're operating at this high level, and yet, like, let me remind you of the learning that it took to get you there, bro. Like, I remember you in my fucking house, bro, trying to figure out how to change the color on the fucking button in Swift UI, you know? So, so yeah, like you grinded for years, and that's whenever like people ask me about like how you got to like such like a level of machine learning, I'm like, I mean, you fucking grinded it, like you learned it, like you sat down, and you fucking learned about that shit, you know. So it's like,
Yo,
because people
facts.
around here will be like, how do I get into shit? I'm like, bro, my boy got that. It's like how they fucking learned how to code. Like I wonder how. Anyways,
Bro, and
um,
that's the distinction that I've learned as well this weekend. Like, bro, there's not geniuses. I mean, yes, there are like geniuses, but like their actual ability to perform had nothing to do with the fact that they were geniuses. It had everything to do with the time that they spent on that certain thing.
yeah,
For example, like I asked these people, "Oh, how long have you been coding?" And it doesn't matter when they started coding. It's just a matter of what they've actually created. And they're like grade 10. And then I said, okay, what did you create? And they're like, yo, I built websites nonstop. I've worked with machine
yeah,
learning for months, and I've been really trying to get in on that. And I'm like, wow, no wonder they won
yeah,
because they've been making that
exactly,
shit.
exactly. And the reason this goes into my week is because as on Wednesday and Thursday, just like big thinking days for me, not you know, not with what I would love to report, which is doing days. Um, I'm realizing that uh, I I remember the part about failing in everything I did before succeeding, but I guess what I didn't think about is that I never actually learned digital marketing. I just went in to do it and decided to learn through like trial and error. Except when I went to code, I learned that I could do anything, except I guess I forgot the part where I actually learned for fucking 2 years before creating Motive. And even so, we realized that Motive, the back end was getting like somewhat out of reach. Like it was like if we fucking sat down and grinded textbooks, it would, let's say, like I don't know, like 2 months of grinding textbooks, we could develop the back end at like a basic level, let's say. And it would still take long as fuck to develop because the whole time you were just learning, reading, you weren't actually applying. And
And we
so yeah,
also,
like
we're trying to get into fucking university.
that's true.
Like
That's
there's
true. Weirdly, it was weird how little time there was in high school, considering how much time there is now. That's a weird thing. That's a myth we'll never understand. How there was so little time in high school with 4 courses, and now there's plenty of time with
bro.
like plenty of courses. Anyways,
We're sick, bro, and then all these
yeah,
other shit that you're
yeah,
doing, bro.
yeah. So,
That's
but
what
anyways,
happens when you're aligned.
that's
When you're
yeah,
aligned,
facts,
bro, everything falls into
facts.
place.
Yeah, that was a interesting time, bro. Thinking back on Motive, it was a bit what there was a bit of chaos in regards to, I
Of
guess,
course, of
how
course.
hard math seemed. I don't know. It's a weird one.
But you know
Anyways,
what? We built the branding, and that was fire.
facts.
That was fire.
Shout out GT America Songs. Never gonna pay you $1, but yeah.
Yo, GT America trial.
Oh,
That
GT America Trial. There's like 10 different options too. There's like bold, black, italics for every single one too.
yeah.
Um,
Expanded.
expanded,
Oh my,
slim. Anyways,
oh
thin,
my gosh, bro.
all with the
Shout
trial.
out. I have every single one. Every single
Every
one.
single one. Dude, yeah, I
Oh
got
my
that from my
gosh.
fucking
Please don't sue
house
us.
strats too
Please
now.
don't sue us.
Anyways,
Yo, we'll pay you when Motive makes revenue.
but
We'll buy the full package. We'll record it as well
I was
live
gonna
on
say,
stream, buying the full package.
oh, bro, we have to record us buy the fucking $3,000 package and
Is
be
it
like,
$3,000?
I think the whole package. I don't know. I think it's like 2,500. I don't
Oh, I
know.
thought it'd be like $30, and we would just be like millionaires and be like,
Oh,
finally
dude,
buying GT
you'd be
America.
like, bro, if it was $30, we would have bought it low key. But
No. We don't buy it until we've made millions. Then we buy it. We're like, okay,
no,
time
no,
to buy
no, we're at like
GT
5 million.
America.
They like send us like a cease and desist. We're like, yo, it's like $30 to buy it. We're like, no, I can't afford this. My fault. We're like in
Yo,
like a mansion and shit. Like, no, we can't afford the
shit, bro,
30.
that's way too much money. I'm not gonna lie. I'll just stick to the trial, to
I'm
be
like,
honest.
I'm like, yo, Hadi. So is that coming out of your salary or?
Yo, you're gonna have to work a little bit of overtime, buddy. Oh my days. Oh my days. Yo,
Listen,
Hattie, bro.
Yo.
You should be excited for the automation because once we get that clip generation, bro, you're gonna be making bucks and bank. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, maybe we could start outsourcing. I don't know. We'll get there. But anyways, what else did you
yeah,
do this week, Andrew?
yeah, just come on time. Um, I okay. So basically, So yeah, like realizing that I never actually did. Um, yeah, I never learned digital marketing because I told myself that I would not go into it at all because I'm not into marketing. That's when I was thinking about doing dropshipping, like when I was younger, and I'm like, I can't. I'm not going to do digital marketing. It's not me. Um, so here's how things started off. My goal was to do 10 posts a day, and I had like kind of frameworks for how I do them. Monday, shit came up in terms of running the business, which was fine. I mean, it was just things to do, and like I was awake like the whole time, like night and day. But yeah, I was like updating products. I had to give out shipments because a lot of people from auto ordered, which was blessed. Tuesday, same thing. I had to order more paper, like stuff like this that like took a long time, especially because it's kind of like the first time to me getting into the motions of it. Um, you know, by Wednesday, I should have been clear, and I was well aware of this thing where like you start off Monday, Tuesday, you're kind of behind just because of operations, and then it's like you could get into it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but then because you get discouraged, you lose out. So I wasn't about to let that happen, and then it happened. I realized that after 3 days of all nighters, I can literally sleep for like 12 hours, which was weird. So then on Wednesday, I don't know, I was sleeping and I was thinking. Like, I got into a thinking rut where I was thinking about what I want to do. Should I just go straight into like productions? Should I go back to knowledge, as in like schooling and stuff? Um, Basically, like I supposedly like I hate like fucking TikToking and shit. Although I just don't care about the product. Like I know like because one thing that I want to do, kind of like you're starting your AI newsletter, like I might actually start a TikTok page for like staging and like lighting and audio, like live audio and stuff like that, because there's like no TikTok pages that do it, even though it's like huge on Instagram. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna start like a productions company in like 2 years, this could be like a kind of fun ramp up. Um, so yeah, I was thinking about this greatly about like what I want to do.
That's sick.
Right. And one of the common themes is I really feel like I hate TikToking, although of course there's so many different sides to this. Well, if you were making bank, then maybe you would enjoy it. Um, Anyways, so once again, I'm rethinking the year. Uh, you know, are my goals set right? And I think, and well, I this is really the last time. I really expect this is the last time that I'm rethinking it. Um, I talk about this a lot, not getting new knowledge, but every time I reinforce something, like there is this kind of like intensity, and like it does get to the point where it's like it's set in stone now. This has happened often, and I know that this will become much faster as kind of iterations throughout my life go, where eventually I'll just be able to set my mind to something and do it. But this has happened. Like I'm trying to draw on examples. Um, with everything, like even with like trying to apply to like Waterloo, like slowly and steadily, or like I don't know, like quitting porn. You know what I'm saying? Like I fucking did it like 100 times, but it's like every time it's just longer, 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 and then now I don't fucking know how long it's been, right? You know what I'm saying? So like these things, I don't jump into things, but there is kind of like there is present for me steadily moving into things, sort of relapsing, so to say, and then eventually it hits a climate. And the thing is, I just once again re-solidified the point in my head that I need to make, no matter what I do next year, this year, I need to make $1 million, no matter what I do next year. Because the thing is, if I
Mm.
want to, because the thing is, it's like the other side of it is I go to Ottawa U and chill, and that's still depression because then it's Buddhism, as in like, well, what do I do now? Like literally, right? So it's like I guess I could just go back into like pure education mode, like isolate myself, just like completely learn fucking math and shit, right? But then it's like then that just means that my thesis based on like Andrew Tate was wrong, which is fine. Again, like I can just learn from textbooks. It's no big deal. Um, like I take risks, but except for that, it's like it really was like no matter what I do, like whether I want to just completely chill out, whether I want to continue to be like an e-commerce guy, whether I want to with their like fucking passive income and whatever, whether I want to do something for my soul in my career, like let's say work in the music industry, or whether I want to do just like a huge power run, like find some sort of $1 billion opportunity and grind my ass off on something that I don't necessarily care about all that much for 20 years with like a kind of 2% chance of becoming extremely powerful in society. No matter, all of that still requires me to make $1 million this year. Because if I'm going to just, kind of live that sort of passive income life, become that kind of, travel guy, whatever, who just does ecom, then I still need to become successful in it, obviously. If I want to do music, I'm still going to be starting my own company, or at like the worst, I'm going to go to some fucking expensive ass institution, which we all know I'm not going to fucking last there, but it still costs a lot of money, right? So it's like I still need $1 million, whether I want to like start a company, I need to fund it or not, or go to an institution, like, and I also need just like money to live off of, right? And as we know, the places where I'm going are not cheap. And thirdly, if it does come down to where I'm at right now, if that mindset sticks, which is what is the like most fucking conspicuous opportunity, it's like, well, then that needs to be funded in seed, which like is going to need to be funded by me in like kind of the earlier stages, and also same thing, I need to be able to like survive and provide for myself in California. So yeah,
Are
so
the goals that we have proceed us? We, regardless of the next step, like our lifestyle is only going up. So the next reasonable, logical operation is upgrading. Like that's it, bro. We have that, like we just have to have that capital in our bank account. We have to have that freedom because
yes, like
after at that point, like
like
makes no sense.
I'm really like this is kind of reeks a little bit of entitlement. Like fuck, bro, I'm pissed off. Like I just hate being broke, but often
Bro,
not enough.
I'm still broke. How am I still broke?
Like it's right.
How? How?
So this is the other thing, like contemplating this, and the thing is, um, uh, uh, sorry, All In was talking about AI a lot this weekend. A lot of times they are a little bit behind because they're generalists. Um, but like I'm just listening to all this shit. They're talking about it, and I'm like, they're talking about how software engineers automated. They're like, oh, like an entrepreneur could do this, and I'm just like, I have no money. How the fuck is this possible? And then of course, I look at my competition on TikTok, and I'm like, okay, the real basis of my thesis is that I am smarter than that person, and it's probably true. So I should probably be able to. So I should be able to beat them and make more money than them, aka take away all their customers, right? And then it's like, again, you kind of get into this like, what the fuck? Well, again, like they've been doing this for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I need to take a fucking digital marketing course. Like I need to read some fucking fundamental theory, and just go up. Like I don't know how fucking TikTok ads work. You know what I mean? So so here I was, Wednesday, Thursday. I was thinking about life. I did a couple posts here and there, I believe, like on all my social
Oh,
medias,
we've seen.
which are now like
I've been
Instagram,
seeing
right? Instagram,
TikTok,
fucking
Snapchat.
YouTube Reels, Snapchat. I'm not on there right now, but there's opportunities
No, no, no.
to.
But your stories are valuable. They're fire.
Ah, yes, of course. That's to the community, right? I like that, right? The flaunting aspect, of course, doesn't make any money at all. Um, fuck, I'm trying out Tumblr, like all these. The point is, there's so much, right? And as always, I'm still in this. Like what the fuck do I do? Because there's just so much, and it's like, well, yeah, when when you see other people start software engineering, like for example, when you start software engineering, you were like in the same thing, like bro, like there's so much here, like what the fuck. So again, just coming to the conclusion,
But
which is like,
equally, I was thinking, damn, there's so much here. I could like this is easy.
I
This is
could still
light. Why?
dominate it, right? Like I could dominate it, but it just like takes a few months to like grasp it. So look, here's the deal. I I continue to contemplate whether I just need to go again, do 10 posts per day to see what happens, or and then just continue to like do like a very traditional path, which will obviously require more time learning, um, which delays sales. And then at the same time,
So then,
I'm
what's your next goal, bro? What's the next step?
yo,
What's the next step?
this is what I'm about to say, because I'm thinking this whole time I'm thinking like, yo, like I want to make an app, but like, fuck, bro, making an app means doing more shit, getting more accomplishments, which are not dollars. You know what I mean? That's why I was against it, but I slowly came to it. I think that's the way to go. Here's the deal. Here's my logic. Essentially, I do have the custom posters now. A lot of people have been asking about it. I do have the custom poster online now. I haven't advertised it yet, but in this
No way.
in this box is the advertising material for it, which will be recorded after this pod.
Woo.
Do you want to see them, bro? You'll fucking love them. Have you seen them on Snap? Oh, you
Yo, no,
haven't.
no, not today. I've been doing the hackathon.
Okay, a little
I've been doing the
live view.
hackathon all
This is
weekend.
the this is the this is the set, the custom poster set. Okay, guess.
Oh
Can
my
you
gosh.
guess what is? By the way, I knew from the very beginning that like this. I thought I would just sell these for like $100 as like holy grails, but they'll be the custom sets.
Nah, hold
All
on.
right, bro.
Let me guess. I know it's Harry Styles. It has to be. I know it.
Bro, everybody was talking about the
No,
Harry
Meta
Styles.
wasn't your custom customer.
Sorry.
Meta wasn't your custom customer. Okay, wait. I want to guess it.
Yo,
Like it's a poster of something, right? Oh,
it's an
what?
edit. It's a photoshopped edit. Yeah, you might.
Ah. Oh, yes! That's fucking fire. Oh my god.
All
You're
right.
sending that to Trent, are you? You're sending that to Trent University very soon.
That's right. So that's the base of the ad is that when I was in grade 7, my best friend made an edit. As you can see, it has very deep meaning behind it, and it is iconic. And
Wow.
7 years later, I named my printing company after him.
That is
And now that
so
we are,
fire, bro.
now
Oh
that
my gosh.
and now that we have
Yo, W.
created custom prints, he will be, of course, the first one.
Yo, let's go, bro.
And
Let's go.
so watch for part 2 to see him getting it. And of course,
Oh, you got a
you have-
matching set. You got
if
two
you
of
have-
them.
Oh, well, we have 3 sizes now.
Oh, shit.
So if you have iconic pictures of your friends, then, well, you know what to do. Okay, here's the deal. There's just, so basically, there's a lot of competition. It's not that there's a lot of competition, there's little competition realistically, but there's no differentiation, right? The differentiation is in the grind of the ads, which is why I'm excited about your thing, because it's like, if you can automate it, then you can win.
Automated
because you can win
posters.
volume. Now, of
Done.
course,
Automated posters.
of course, you know, Tate basically found out a human way to automate it. Okay, here's the deal.
Yo. We got a question from Azlikanil. Why does Andrew set this $1 million expectation / goal by the end of the year for himself?
Go on YouTube.
Because it's required. Otherwise, he
YouTube.
can't.
It's on YouTube.
Real.
Anyways, so by the way, thanks for watching, y'all. I appreciate that.
Yo, yeah, shout out to Neil, bro. First time tuning out of the pod. What's up, bro?
Welcome to the stream,
So-
Neil.
Let me just explain some of the more logic. I promise it's not all that complicated. Essentially, where was I going?
Yo, while you explain that, I'm gonna go to get chapstick because I'm dehydrated after my nap. So I'm gonna be back in a sec.
So basically, actually,
Intermission break.
then I'll just explain. Basically, I would like to get out of university, and I would like to start some sort of company. Not posters. Posters are more just a way to make money so that I can live on my own terms. $1 million is fairly arbitrary, but I suppose if I can make $1 million, then that qualifies me to not continue a business education. So basically, I started a poster company. However, the issue is that there is too many different. There are so many different niches and interests that people have that it's inefficient to advertise it to all of them, because I have a library of over 5,000 prints, literally. However, most of the people who could buy them have no clue that they exist, just because um, I just because it would take so much freaking time to like show them off. So what I was just saying, John, is that I have a library of over 5,000 prints. However, it would take so much time to show them all off that nobody knows that they exist. And since it takes multiple times for somebody to see an ad over, like, let's say, even weeks or months, for them to actually purchase a product, this creates an issue of like, okay, well, if I have like 500 different niches, let's say, how many ads is that? Like, that's just too many, right? And so basically, of course, what I could do is, or the kind of idea with the 10 posts a day is you steadily grow. You start with one niche, and then you grow it out. And this is what these kind of long-term companies have done. They've been around for 2 or 3 years, these TikTok poster companies. They individually curate their selection over time to get 3,000 posters, right? I was like, oh, I'm so smart. I can just, like, what is it called? I can scrape all your stuff and get on my website. Turns out I'm not so smart, because that stuff doesn't matter, because no matter how fast you can get it, you can automate the getting it. But as of right now, you cannot automate the communicating it. So it doesn't matter. And this is where the headache was. Now, my thing is like, okay, I guess if I can make a lot of money, maybe I will, really grind out the TikTok stuff. But I'm like, okay, let's say I advertise Drake for a week. That's just Drake. If you even look at Etsy numbers, you would understand that over a week, you would get 10 sales would be fucking blessed over a week, because you're just starting. But the point is, like, let's say like you're established, like people have been seeing you per week. 30 sales of Drake is like good if you look at Etsy numbers, let's say, right? Now I'm like, well, I can outsmart advertisers, which I can. If I learn it, I'd be smarter than them. It's not about that. It's about just doing it brute force. I think is inefficient. And as much as I hate advertising it, which of course there is bias there, I think it's pretty much true to say that it's too inefficient to get necessarily a significant financial reward over the next few months. And of course, if it doesn't play out in like 12 months, then what's the point? Because, it's like, okay, well, 1 week I do Drake, then next week I do 2 artists, and then next week I do 3 artists. Okay, now I'm, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, very slow. It's focusing on me. So, of course, my brain
Is
goes
that your
to,
real
well,
plan? You're trying to play it out? You're trying to like
no, that's the issue. That's not what I'm going to do. That's why the app
yeah.
is justified. Because, so of course my brain goes, well, how can I, because automation doesn't exist yet, how can I kind of, Cobra Tate this thing, where of course he kind of figured out a way to sort of set up like a pyramid scheme that would basically incentivize people to create as many TikTok as possible about him without him having to lift a finger. Like he basically created passive, he basically automated it, except he used humans, right? He created like a system. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm smart enough to think of a structure. Of course, the domain is completely different. Like in selling a course, this is very easy. That's why courses have, for decades, have been sold as pyramid schemes for get rich quick and all that. But I'm thinking, because I was thinking about like a Discord, because there are kind of 3 parties at play here. There's the buyer, there's the artist, and then there's potentially like the kind of curator, aka like the influencers. Like let's say somebody who like posts a lot of Harry Styles video on TikTok, maybe they could advertise Harry Styles posters to them. Except, how do I kind of set up an incentive structure where everybody can just automatically kind of flow themselves? So I was like, well, what if, so I've been thinking about systems. Well, what if there's like a Discord where, if you make a piece of art, then you can like get some sort of incentive to do that. If more people buy it, then you also get an incentive. And then if you like curate it, you can get like free posters, or I don't know. Trying to think of something, right? Anyways, then we've got this stuff, right? The kind of make your own poster thing, which you've been telling me about. Of course, people have been asking me about it a lot as well, and not necessarily going to like actually buying it, but nonetheless saying, well, can I just send you an image? And I'm saying, of course. So, but I'm like, well, maybe this would be easier through an app. Again, like, what the fuck? Why would I create an app? Here's the deal. the people who bought from me all know me, which makes there's first of all there's level of distrust in TikTok e-commerce and like just in general social media e-commerce. Like it has to be around for years, right? Like Display did make $8 million in sales, but they've been around since 2015. Like I'm not gonna run this company for 7 years. You know what I mean? Or actually 9 now. So and even so, people like in 2019, 2020, 2021, people were questioning whether Display is legitimate, and they've been around since 2013. The company's been around since 2013, and people are still questioning whether it's a scam.
Which is
Of course,
insane.
which is fucking
That's
insane.
insane.
Which goes to actually, I just realized that goes to show just how much distrust there is in like e-commerce, like viral, in like viral commerce. But kind of like with a lot of things, almost like with politicians being corrupt, it's like, well, what else are you gonna do, or else you get nobody. So
But
there's that.
even then, so like equally so, you realize that there's a gap that you can fulfill
Yeah,
with these people, and that's super valuable. That is super valuable.
exactly. I'm thinking of I'm trying to figure out. Well, of course, it's like you like the Harry Styles posters. It might not even be the fact that you haven't seen them enough. It's just that you're defaulting to, well, yeah, like it'll take me probably 20 times to even consider whether this is legit. Of course, if you know that I'm behind it, like that you can just hit me up if they don't come in and be like, what the fuck. The
Yeah.
other thing is that I think like is I think like people like who already knew me, they had sort of like a propensity towards me, like, and this is actually quite clear in the list of people who bought the posters. Like they're all people who were like my best friends in the past, right? So it's like um so because of that, it was clear that they had warmth to me, not necessarily a brand, but it's like this kind of this is the same way that you might have like warmth to like Apple or whatever. So there's this other issue of it's not a problem that I'm trying to sell you something. That's okay because you might want to buy it, but it's a problem that you just don't have warmth. So it's not like it doesn't feel hostile. My offer doesn't necessarily feel hostile, but it doesn't necessarily feel warm, and it can't have been. You don't know who I am, right? So I'm thinking, well, maybe an app, tiny bit of solution. A little bit more trust because it's on your phone. It takes a little bit more work if it looks legit, and also because it's there. Maybe because it's maybe there's just a little bit more of that in app. I don't know. I was still kind of didn't want to develop it, but I also realized that I don't have much of another choice now. The other choice is like grinding TikTok or maybe like the Discord. So here's my idea with the app. I'm thinking of where the kind of MVP lies in this kind of spectrum of functionality, but this is probably about what I will create, and I think it should be okay to create pretty fast in iOS because we do conveniently we have Motive, so it's pretty similar, right? So I'm thinking number one, we this is fundamental is is the sorry the customs, because where this all actually falls down to is I could do anything, right? Like I don't actually have particular expertise in posters. I just happen to have a $1,500 printer. I need to put that asset to work. I won't do print on demand because that market is saturated already, and God knows I'm not going to be advertising my printer in like the Waterloo region. Like again, I can't play that fucking like I don't know. Like if I had to, I guess I would, but there's another
Yeah,
opportunity.
of course. That's not the
So
game.
here's the deal. In terms of actually printing custom posters, there's a few companies on TikTok, and my thing is like just like in general in e-commerce, and they all also sell. They have like their array of like 5,000 plus prints, and then they also sell you
Yeah.
custom posters, and you know that it's popular because on the top line they have it where they have shop all, and then it's a drop down menu of all the different niches, and then individually they have the upload custom, and I even saw some of them advertising that particularly for Valentine's Day.
Mm.
So you know that it's probably a bigger market. Is there some sort of, however, there is completely no differentiation. And if you just run an ad of, oh, uploader and poster, like it's very like feature-esque, right? Is there some sort of kind of consumer psychological thing that a app would be advantageous? I don't know, maybe if you had an app to actually upload it, that would be kind of feel more like at home. Maybe that would just feel a little bit more legit. I'm not sure, but just maybe an app would feel a little bit more at home. You download it, okay, now it's here. Whenever you want to use it, okay, boom, upload. You can kind of scale it within the app. It'll show you whether the resolution is good enough or not. Maybe we have the AI super zoom right in the app. I mean, I probably couldn't code that right now, but figure it out. And then that way, right away, I can also utilize my asset, the printer, because I can just print them from home. The only thing is I need to figure out how to get free shipping, because that's like a really big pointer for people. That's another thing that I was like doing, just like operations. Like I just can't figure out how to get free shipping for this, especially for like the small posters. Um, but that's one of those things that I'm trying to figure out right now. And I understand
Yo,
that
that
for
I
the
think
app,
the free shipping comes when you have like a cycle of income.
it has to be free shipping for everybody, because people always get hung on those little things. They're like, oh, because it's like you advertise it as cheap, right? But then they're like, oh, but the shipping costs this much. And they don't know that it's like dude, I'm not trying to make money off of you. Like Canada Post is genuinely expensive as fuck. Like you're already getting it discounted, right? Like they don't know that. Like this doesn't cross any consumer's mind. Why? Because Amazon exists, and all these huge companies who, as you said, have cash. Actually, what you said is super interesting. I cannot wait for cash flow, because other companies have cash flow, thus they give free shipping. Thus consumers think that it's a given, right? It's not a given, but I don't have that luxury, I feel like. So I have to figure it out. But once we get free shipping,
That's
it's much
actually
more
interesting, bro. I
straightforward.
think that's a good metric. I think that's a good metric of valuing like trustable
Mm.
companies. That for one, they value giving you free shipping, but two, you can tell by like even on maybe a venture capitalist standpoint, if a company that's selling you cannot provide free shipping to their customers, you can probably tell that either they're not profitable or they don't have organized cash flow. And I don't
And
know,
the
that's just
consumers
pretty
can
interesting.
smell it too. They can smell it too. Why is an e-commerce consumer facing based company not offering free shipping? Like, are you broke? And that's why I'm really trying to get out of my dorm. Like, I don't want to shoot any more. I don't want to personally even shoot any more things. I'm trying to figure out a way to automate it, because me doing it in my dorm, I think again, like it gives like poor vibes. It gives scammy vibes, grift vibes,
Mhm.
all in type beat. Anyways,
We can't have
so here's the deal.
we can't have
I'm at the point where it's like, look, I'm still committed to making it out this year. How long will it take me to make the app? Probably longer than I
Yo,
would think, but
you underestimate a how much you can work, and B, that there's still many days in this year, bro. It's day 43. There
okay,
is there is
interesting.
like
Okay, you're counting too, bro.
yeah, of course. Yo, it's in my notes, man, every
Okay,
single day,
okay, it's in
bro.
my notes too, bro. It's in my Twitter. That's crazy, bro.
So
You just remind me of the morning.
so listen, man, like
Yeah,
it's insane, like bro, like really think about, bro, like the gap between January 1st to January 30th was super small. And then the gap from January 30th to February 12th, huge difference. Huge difference in
interesting,
my
interesting.
productivity and what I've been. I think it's the same
Yeah,
for you.
you're right.
Like,
You're right.
bro,
Applying this
it
professionalism
was
and all that.
literally a jump start. It's
Yeah,
actually exactly how you predicted, where we assume all these responsibilities. It's gonna be stressful initially, but bro, like that
yeah,
stress is gonna carry on and we're gonna
yeah,
love it, and we
yeah,
do. And that's just beautiful how it's playing out right now.
yeah.
Because shit, bro. Yesterday was day 42, my favorite number, and in the middle of it, I didn't even know it was
Yikes.
day 42. I was just writing my notes when I was trying to go the fuck to bed after I was grinding, and I was like, dang,
Right.
I really just created something out of nothing. And so, like see in your background, you're about to create something incredibly valuable to people. And man, I'm just so fucking
Lovely, lovely,
excited, man.
lovely. I'm
So
I'm glad
excited.
to hear that. So
So what's the next
yeah,
goal, bro? What's your goals for next week? Let's get Hattie on. I want to hear Hattie.
yeah. So my goals this week, number one, every day I'm talking 4 to 7 posts. Just set up a template, pick a niche, and then scroll through pics of that niche. A lot of other things do this, but they only focus on one niche. So it's like, look, like I'll do like one of like a Mac Miller scroll, like a scissor scroll, like an X scroll. You know what I mean? like a movie scroll,
Yeah.
right? So it's like they're easy to make. You just set up the template. All you need to do is change up the sound, find something trendy, and change up the start. Boom, run it. I decided I'm not going to run any paid ads, except I might have a banner with rappers and post it on Tumblr just because I might be able to get like, or sorry, not Tumblr, what's it called? Rumble,
Etsy?
because
Oh.
Rumble, because I might be able to get a for super cheap, and I think there might be an opportunity there potentially because people are like, because nobody fucking uses Rumble for ads, so it's got to be super cheap, and also because the only advertisers on Rumble are like very like obvious like political and kind of get rich quick type beats. So maybe seeing something like this will make you feel kind of more legit because it's like it's not something that's at all related to Rumble. Like there's no rappers on Rumble, but it just happens to be like cross alignment, right? Like teenage guys like rap and also like Donald Trump type beat. You know what I'm saying? So so I might do that. Uh, However, I won't be advertising. I almost spent all the rest of my cash on advertising on TikTok as like a Hail Mary, but instead the app's gonna be my Hail Mary. I end up canceling the ads $30 in because I realized that it's better for me to do a Hail Mary. I realized that it would not work. And I need to learn. The Hail Mary for me is building the app over the next month, and I can spend that rest of that cash on doing a fat poster sale in the concourse at Laurier. So I'm going to start planning that and see
Yo, when
if
is
it's
that? Is that next week?
no. It'll have to be a quick turnaround time, but if it happens, it'll happen in 2 weeks. So yeah, number one, what did I say number one was? It already lost me on.
Number one is to make 4 to 7 posts.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Number one is make 4 to 7 posts. Potentially put up that banner on Rumble, just like $100, $200 ad spend. Then prep for the poster sale upcoming in 2 weeks. Potentially, I'm gonna think about it a little bit more. But we all know how the thinking goes and how it converges to a yes. Okay.
Of course.
Then, then I'm going to start working on the app. Figma has to be done. I'm going to use AI as much as possible to automate it. By Thursday, I'll be in Xcode and on Google Firebase. Bless up that we did Motive. I already know how a lot of that stuff works. I'm going to finalize drawing out the functionality, but I basically already know how it works in my head. I think it's going to be pretty sick. We'll just see if the market reacts to it, which will just be interesting to see in general. And finally, there's something else. Oh yeah, I'll see if I do this week because I keep pulling them off. But I have some viral post ideas, so I might do the one on the weekend. We'll see. Yeah, because my roommate, I had this thing where he was looking at the guacamole chair poster made by AI, and I don't know how this came out. But why don't we just cover somebody's room in guacamole posters? I don't know.
Oh my god.
So we'll see if the viral ones come out this week. But yeah, that's generally it. Except for that, I have to keep managing my expenses. I need to buy, especially if I do the viral one, I need to buy a new set of small paper, because that's gonna use up the whole paper. And
Yo,
yeah,
if you make the guacamole thing, you should cover your room in it, do some funny little skit or whatever, and then sell the guacamole posters to promote
that's
it.
that's the one of the ideas was oh yeah, I mean you can already buy the guacamole posters on the fucking website.
No, but I mean what I'm saying is you make custom guacamoles and then you say this is guacamole one.
It's 1 of 100. Guac 2, Guac 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would buy one of those.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, of course. I need the
those are
collectible,
Mr.
man.
Beast-esque things. I have a few other Mr. Beast-esque ideas which would be fun, but I don't know, man. But I think hopefully on reading week we can do a long ad for the we can shoot a long ad for the app with Mason or something. But yeah, so those.
You'll put that in the works. Put that in the works. Reading week is coming up. Reading week's coming up. Put that in the works. If you get that figured out by Wednesday.
Yeah, because the mock-ups will be done by then, so it'll be
fire.
So yeah, I mean,
yo, get Pamela.
Yo, I'm down, bro.
Yo, hit her up, bro.
Okay, say that.
That'll be fire. That'd be fire.
So yeah,
Get Duchenne as well.
then that has to
But
be
what
in
do
the
you?
works now, I guess. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
another thing for the
I
weekend.
guess study.
And then yeah, there's school.
Yeah,
I
next
low
goal.
key. Anyways, um, yo, just
I
dude, like all I'm gonna say, bro, is well, I don't want to say things before. You'll see afterwards, but as I said, like I'm staying very focused. Like I'm in frame. You know what I'm saying? Shit's
real
happening.
shit, real shit.
Shit's happening.
That's what's up.
This app is
That's
gonna
what's
have a
up.
quick turnaround. We're gonna see whether it works in the market very, very soon. And
GG's.
yeah, we'll be fucking printing out posters, and there'll be it's a platform. It'll be a platform, so it'll be interesting.
It was inevitable. It was inevitable. I like that. All right, Hattie, your turn, bruv. What you been doing this week?
This week started out kind of slow. You know, I was just kind of vibing. I was just a little out of it, and I was just kind of I was just kind of half asleep in half of my lectures. But as the week progressed, like I just kind of started to get back into the swing because nothing much was really done besides just going to school and back throughout the entire week. So it was not like much any eventful things happened. But yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday just kind of like I'm more laid back days. But Wednesday I think was when I really started to pick up the pace with my work. I think when did I see you, John? Was that Thursday?
Oh, I visited you guys on like Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somewhere on Tuesday, yeah. I got some stuff done in the library that day, so that was a
Mm.
bit of that. And then
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was tainted by the
yeah,
by the
yeah,
germs at Carleton.
the germs.
No, I'm
Jeez.
joking though. I'm joking though. So, do you think do you think you were able to accomplish some things that you set out for yourself this week?
Yes, good. Coming to the end of the week, I just kind of like started to pick things up. Thursday, I had a busy day that day in terms of lectures and all that. But when I got back home and I quickly started I got a bit of stuff done on Thursday because yeah, I was just kind of tired after that day. But then Friday was I was kind of impressed with the rate I went. Like I like actually like a few assignments done actually in the span of like 3 hours or something. Kind of like how you were talking about how quick you went at hackathon. Like I just kind of like sat up at my study spot. It took me like 10-15 minutes like of just sitting there looking at the view and being on my phone or just looking at the view actually. I'm like, what am I doing? Let's just get to it. And so like I just sat down on my laptop. I got some studying for macro done. I finished up a lab for one of my classes and yeah, there's one more thing but I forget what it was.
Yo,
But
so
yeah.
I remember when Andrew and
I
I
was
started out, and
I was impressed.
we I think the best thing that we started doing was setting up goals and going actively to achieve them. So, as you see, we set up goals today, and we always do that for ourselves. So,
And holding each
I
other
want you
accountable at the
to,
end of the week.
what would you
Yeah.
say?
And holding each other accountable at the end of the week.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what. So if you got to set your goals so you have a tangible metric, and so we can actually see if progress has been made. So
Hmm.
if you were to set some goals for next week, what would you do, and how would you accomplish them? Let's hear it.
All right. So the goals that I want to get have done this week is well, all in all, I just want to be fully caught up on everything for school. Right now, I still need to finish an assignment and midterm tomorrow studying for.
Yo, same,
Um,
same.
and then I have a midterm on Thursday, and then I have a for psychology, and then I have test on Friday. So my plan, like, it's so you could already tell that it's very stacked week. Evaluate if not, right?
But yo,
And
you gotta create good systems.
I feel
Like,
like I've picked up the momentum from Friday, and
of
then
course, of
I
course.
just kind of relaxed from that night to Saturday because
Yo,
I
but
just wanted to
the
want some
crux,
relief.
the crux for things that require discipline is relying on momentum to carry you forward. While it is insanely powerful, try this week or over time to incorporate genuine systems that will allow you to succeed without the requirement of motivation. Because while momentum
System.
can carry the planets around the sun and the stars around the galaxy, it is the fact that you are consistently pushing forward that momentum is going to stay spinning. So
Mm.
make sure that you, while you're thinking about it and you're doing these things, try to put some effort into understanding exactly what you're doing, exactly what you're doing right, exactly what you're doing wrong, and how you can make this more of a habit and less of a decision. Because once you have to start deciding to work, then you've already lost.
Hmm.
You've already doing something that
Facts,
you might not actually
facts.
enjoy,
Exactly. Yeah.
or you're doing
That's
something you don't
good.
like. So remove decision,
No more
incorporate
decision.
discipline. I mean, I'm not saying like don't, you know what I mean. Make sure you just try to think about and be mindful of what you're doing. But yeah,
Yeah.
bro, I better see your grade. We better see
So
your
is that
grade of
what
the
you mean
midterm.
by the systems thing?
Yeah, when we talk about systems, it's like like it's sort of automating, but it's
It's
like
such a broad topic. Yeah.
yeah, like it is
You
a
can
little
be
bit
talking about
unclear. And I
automation. You
remember
could be talking
I
about
mean,
yeah.
it's
It's
the
exactly.
more and more
the
systematic it is, the more and
ambiguity.
more habitual it is, the more and more, the less and less you rely on your own kind of emotions in that moment. Like,
Will. Yeah.
Yo, like Mr. Beast said it before in Lex Friedman podcast, like you have to clone yourself. And I think making good systems is essentially projecting your brain, your idea space onto something that you can just reiterate over and over again. And obviously the match made in heaven is being able to experimentally change that and iterate in different ways. But the baseline is that you shouldn't have to think after you've already thought. That's what like all these automation systems, that's what computer science is about to an
Hmm.
extent, especially in software engineering. It is I don't have to think again. I thought already, so I don't have to think anymore. That's the basis of
Yeah.
automation. So
Yeah.
try to automate your life more and more. I'm always about that. I've been obsessed with automation ever since I got into machine learning.
So
But yeah,
become more
bro.
of an NPC. I'm kidding.
Nah, not
I'm
even
kidding.
NPC. Become
I'm
more of
kidding.
a
Yeah,
become
just
more of a
become more of like an intelligent per. Just become more intelligent. No, not
I-
really that. It's just kind of like
you're an
learn
effective
to like
NPC.
eliminate. Yeah,
But the thing is,
just
nah,
that's
nah,
try
not
to
nah,
your whole
like
identity.
not an NPC.
The more you NPC parts of yourself, the more you get to actually work on what makes you unique, which makes you more human. I could call the
Mhm.
NPC the person who has to cook every day and check their bus schedule every day. Well,
Yo, instead
my
of
meals
being
are made and the Uber is coming at the time that it was scheduled to come for once a day 5 months ago. Now I'm focusing
it's
on
one
creative
thing
things.
it's one thing being an NPC and all of your thoughts and actions are not determined by yourself. And it's another thing being the
Right.
protagonist, the
Right.
protagonist when everybody does shit for them. So you got to be able to clone yourself and be that protagonist, be that main character in your life. Otherwise, who
mm,
else is the
Yeah,
hero in your
and if
story?
you think you're not currently
yeah,
working off of your habits, which makes sense because it's not obvious at all consciously, but that's you will find like everything, every single thing you do works off your habits. Like even the way that I've been talking throughout this podcast is completely habitual, and you will see that change to be much more direct and much more like contained. That's habitual. Like you,
Correct.
um, even when I just said like and that's habitual. And when
Yeah.
you, Hadi, let's say go to, oh, I don't know, every single day you ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Will I do this? And then 50% of the time, 50% of the time you say, I feel like doing this, then you do it. And then 50% of the time you say, I don't feel like doing this, and you don't do it. That's actually a habit. You would know that it was a habit if you tried to stop. If you tried to do something when you didn't feel like doing it and you felt that pain, then you would know that it's a habit, because only habits are like the only things that make something feel very, very wrong when you do it differently.
yeah, yep.
Getting into the habit of
Yeah.
doing things based on a pre-decided principle when you were in a good state of mind rather than your current state of mind leads to increased productivity and that might help you create more time for the things you really enjoy in life rather than your schoolwork.
Yo,
What if you didn't have to do schoolwork on the
oh,
weekend at all, including in third year and fourth year, because it'll be relevant then, won't it?
of
Yeah.
course, of course. Yo, on a different note, thank you for that, boys. All right, on a different note, you know what? Like, I thought about the other day, and it was so amazing because I remember I went on and I saw Ian's post. I put that on my story, and then I saw your
Mm,
post. I put that on my story,
yeah,
and then I saw like other posts of people around us creating, and I was so like happy that I saw the people in my life creating. Like I saw some posts like Pamela's doing. I saw like some people post on their story of what they were doing. And I'm like, wow, like a lot of people our age are creating things, and that's like low key the end goal. Like that's what we're trying to make with automation. We're trying to allow humans to do more creative things, and seeing that is so beautiful. And what I really want to what I really want to see, and what I think we're about to see, is our friend group specifically being top tier creators in our space.
mm,
And I just fucking can't wait to see that because Yufeng is telling me how he wants to create, he wants to do some environments, he wants to create some like art, some game dev, some game development,
yeah,
etc. He's been interested in 3D modeling. And then Ian is trying to create his fashion brand. Shout out to
yeah.
Murasame on Instagram, and Neil wants to do his photography,
Soon
and
automated on
then
TikTok.
yeah, exactly, bro. And you see this, bro. You and I trying to create our own shit. Where you've been on creating value, creating an end goal for music and
Yeah,
an
creating
agency.
money.
Right now, exactly, creating value is what we're about.
Yeah,
And like my end goal as well is to create value, create good systems, free up more time for these people. And so I just had that glimpse, a really good feeling of thinking, what if this works out for all of us? And,
the
you know,
self-fulfilling
I
prophecy
just want to see that.
will extend beyond you and I.
It has to, because if it works for us, like, it's undoubtedly that'll inspire
Well,
somebody
there's three
else.
people here right now.
And I'm just super excited to see that play out. Like, wow.
Yeah,
I saw that. I'm like, man, like, we
interesting.
have to encourage the boys to win. We have to. We have to
Motivest
bring everybody
Motivest will
up.
be interesting. Motivest will be interesting.
Yo, have you ever heard of Burning Man?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
I actually never
Of
had. I
course.
never had heard of it before.
Really.
Before my friend, my boy Felipe, put me on it. But yo, like Motive Fest, man, like that. I want to inspire that kind of vibe. Like when you think of Burning Man, it's like, oh, it's Burning Man. But like, I obviously don't want it to have like the same, like I don't want it the same weird, like quirky shtick. I want to have like genuine authenticity as our shtick. But yeah, man, like I was consuming a lot of content about Burning Man, trying to see how
Mm.
their festival was, and like I just want to like, yo, this is actually like hard for me to imagine. Well, like it's been I've been trying to abstract it, and I don't know how it'd play out. It would honestly take a lot of more iteration. But creating something where you truly capture like that creative esque is so valuable, and I really want to encourage that. Like, bro, like I want to see the boys create. Like Motivefest, for me, when I see that, I want it to be a conglomerate of creation and then a sharing of a similar experience, whether that be music or creating art and sharing that. But man, like
So
I just want
AFK
it to
for a
be
few minutes.
a crazy experience. Like that's like seeing all of Burning Man content. I watched some Coachella shit, which was actually pretty interesting. I think they actually do a really good job with Coachella, but yeah, bro. In terms of motive, man, like we just have to inspire creativity, and whether that be through semi-competition nature, just having that vibe anyway of encouraging creators to pull up, maybe collaborating and partnering with creators, or having like a genuinely creative experience, however it may be. I want to capture the inspiring aspect of what going to a hackathon feels like, or
Yeah.
demonstrating your skills in full.
Yeah,
So
it's like working
that's
working
that's what.
against the so yeah, working against the world collaboratively.
Mm-hmm. So,
So I'm going to
well,
competition.
I would say against. I would say with. I'd say working with the world. I'd say embracing both the circumstances and also just being as human as you possibly can.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dance battle.
For real. I feel like we have to remove the idea of an adversary and really incorporate the fact that there have never been adversaries. There's only been us.
Mm,
So I don't know. What do you think, bro? What do you boys think?
dog, this is completely out of my realm of execution. I haven't. I don't know anything about psychology, painting. I only know what it should feel like within
That's
within a few minutes. You don't even have
that's
time
all
to.
you need
You,
though.
you don't have years to build a brand. You just have that moment right there.
That's all you need though. Reverse engineer how you created that feeling.
Mm.
Just that's it. Like when I see, okay, I got inspired. Where did I get inspired? Oh,
But
I saw everybody better
I
than me.
am very different than every single other human being. It's not.
Of
It's
course,
not.
of course, of course, of course.
That's a
That's why.
huge
That's
issue
why.
though. That's a huge issue though because
But that's the $1 million idea. That's the $1 million problem. Solving that idea. It's not easy. It's not easy. But yeah, well, think about it. Let's think about it. Like reverse engineer. Like think of a moment. Think of a feeling that you want to have felt during that time. I can think of many. I can think like three of them. Let's say inspiring. When I get inspired personally, I get inspired when I see other people create. I just think, damn, if this person is capable of creating, then I should be capable of creating too. And the simple answer to that is encourage creativity. Encourage people to create things. Because then it's like, oh, you can do it. Maybe I could do it better, or maybe I could do it differently. The next thing is incorporating another feeling is this vision that I have of, you and I on the stage looking at the people and going crazy and seeing like the B-roll of us going like, yeah,
yeah,
touching
yeah,
the front row, being like, let's fucking go, getting crazy on
yeah,
stage. That feeling, incorporating that, well, it's like that's like, like a typical club feeling, but it's more than that. It's that familial bond, it's that brotherhood. And I think
yeah.
Burning Man does a really good job of keeping that. So we have to build a community around this, which could as well be incorporated with, like if you look at hackathons and other competitions, dance battles especially, there's a community there. So you have to
Look
build
at Gary V's intro, the old one.
Gary V knows me. That one?
No,
Get Gary V knows me.
hold on.
Let's hear it though. But yeah, like this guy builds great communities. I think that like, he's really good at
I
that.
mean, he's the king of it. So this
King
is
of compassion, bro. Oh, I ain't seen that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it, bro.
so
Yo, I love that.
it's quick. It's quick. It flashes through so many different emotions.
Bro, that is so fire. I love that. I love that the variety, man. It's that is so valuable, bro. Yo, every Motivfest we have to have it like we have that animation pulled down and it's like clips of like just like that, bro. But then that'd be so fire. Just like the Apple ad that we saw, bro. Like we get like the projector come down and then it like plays that shit and then we walk on stage and be like Motive Fest 2023. What's up, boy? That'd be so fire, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so yo, like capturing that, like that as well. Like when you have this diversity of a feeling, you have to have like a jam-packed day of like a bunch of different shit. You gotta have shit that makes you cry, makes you sad, and you have to have something that makes you super happy, super joyful. And then it all comes together at the end where it felt like you've experienced a whole lot, and then you party at the end. Like, bro, if we had like if hackathons had fucking like parties and discos right at the end of every hackathon, that would be so sick because we all had this experience. We all did all this shit, and then at the end, we were just like, "Boom, let's rave." We have a DJ go, "Oh yeah!" Like that would be such a good conclusion because then it's like, "Yo, hackathon! I
Yo,
just coded for 18 hours, tired as fuck, and
do you
now
know do you know
we
that
just
feeling
dance."
after you're done skiing, where like you
Yeah.
like like the feeling of pulling out your legs out of like the ski boots?
Yes,
So
bro.
basically, because I did it as a kid, right, and then afterwards you would like be in your hot car and like drink hot chocolate, right? Which is kind of like it's very like you've done the work, and now you can kind of like or like it's like lodging after like skiing on the canal. It's like super cold and like it's like work, right? And then afterwards like you eat beaver tail, right? So it's like very like
Well, it's like prom.
Like comp.
It's like prom, bro.
In what way?
Yo, literally see how it plays out. Like literally played the entire 12th year. We worked so hard the whole time, had a crazy big climax at the end,
Yeah.
and then afterwards, we all chilled and did our own thing. Like for that, maybe like for the week after prom, I think I met up with like you, all the boys, a bunch of people that I know, and we just had chill conversations until we all left. And that was like that was the progression. We had that all that work, a huge climax, and then a nice resolution, just like literary devices would say. So I think that's super valuable. I think that's super valuable. You're absolutely right. So more so on that. Um, yeah, bro, having that feeling of like satisfaction, bro, or not even that, like just like being so exhausted but also completed.
Yeah, it's like
That is
exhaustion. It's exhaustion, but completeness
yeah, bro. I feel that
or
like every time I
satisfaction.
go to like Calypso as well. Like I've tried all these things, I've done
Yeah,
all these things, had a great experience, and then I'm just chilling in the wave pool, talking to my brother, just going like, yeah.
yeah.
Calypso is fire. I will always love Calypso, bro. We gotta go with the boys. I have yet to be with the boys at Calypso. I've only been with my family.
All
So
right, say less.
yeah, yo,
Um,
this summer,
this summer we can do it. I mean, it's easy now, bro. Like we're free now.
yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for this summer, man. Not to say that
No,
yo, bro, it's just because like it has nothing to do actually with the timeline of school. It's that when the sun is going to be out in its fullest, I'm gonna be so productive. That's just it.
mm,
Like when I
yeah,
appreciate how life looks like more, like when it doesn't look so glum and I get more gratitude, I just get
yeah,
so much more productive. I'm like, damn, this like literally today, the sun was beautiful. I came home, I was about to go right to bed, and I was like, shit, like I don't want to fall back into this. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Like the day is so beautiful, I should be working. I just stood up, I went to my brother's room, I just stared at the sun for like maybe 3 minutes, and I was like, I'm not tired anymore. I just worked.
facts.
And then after I
Yeah,
was done working, I was like, okay, now I'm too tired.
yeah.
I actually have to go to sleep. And I passed
And
out.
and we're gonna be working in the same area. It's gonna be the start of the fucking fat ass house with like I just love
Oh
like the
yeah.
like I just love like the house that's like it's like so empty. Like that's how you know that's number one, that's how you know it's big because it's so empty. But number two, you know that they're always traveling because
Yeah.
like you always see this in
Like
like
I don't
celebrity movies and shit where
bro,
like
I don't got
they
time
pull up
to
to like
furnish a house,
they pull up to
man.
like this huge house and it's like they're like eating breakfast, right? And there's like two two plates on the fucking fat ass center counter. You know what I'm saying? And you just have like four people walking by, like you know
Yo,
what
it's
I'm
a
saying?
cloud
Like
house. It's a cloud house. They don't live here. I don't
there's
live
no
here.
like there's no dude. Yo,
I
if
just
you
sleep here.
furnish your house, you're you're either like over 60 or you're broke.
You either have a family or you have a family. Basically, if you
Yeah,
work a 9 to 5.
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help!
Yeah.
I
Maxo.
personally don't have any. We could hire a designer, male,
Yeah,
female.
you can hire someone in the fashion industry that you're fond of. Someone that's familiar.
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help!
Yeah.
Maxo.
Don't what?
That makes it better,
Bro,
doesn't it? Because
you played hockey.
doesn't
Don't let a goalie stop you from
they,
scoring.
and
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help!
Yeah.
Maxo.
Hey.
the stock, bro.
Oh. Anyways, bro, yo, it's 11. I have a midterm tomorrow, 2 days. So I think if you have nothing else to say, I'm ready to cut. I'm still super exhausted after
Yeah, bro. That's
38
true,
hours
bro.
being awake.
You've been here. That's crazy. After all the exhaustion.
You
All
know
right,
what though?
well,
I'm not even tired. Like, well, I am. Like my brain actually isn't
nah,
working, but
but
like
these
going.
conversations like these make you forget a little bit more, right?
That's the
So
thing, bro. I realized I have it in my notes. It was literally yesterday for day number 42. I was reflecting on the year and I was like, bro, tiredness does not exist when creativity is driving your life, bro. If if you
mm,
have If you have
Yeah.
creativity, if you have things that are making you create, you don't want to sleep because you're just creating things. That's literally been my issue. It's not that I'm undisciplined. Well, sometimes, but for the most part, it's like, oh shit, like, oh my God. Like once all the distractions go away, it's nighttime. I'm at my bed and I'm like, oh, I wake up and I do it. I come back to bed and I'm like, oh shit. I go up and then I'm up until 3 a.m. and I'm like, damn, I should have slept. But it's like, no, I
Well,
shouldn't have because I
I'd
wouldn't have
sit in my
created.
lectures falling asleep because like I didn't sleep during the night. But like all I tell myself is like, yo, just get through these next like 30, 40, 50 minutes. Because I know the second I walk out of that lecture, walk into like the atmosphere, like I'm good. Like, you know?
Fully rejuvenated, bro. I talked to one person and they like spark my inspiration and I'm just like, oh, why was I tired? It's
Yeah.
just says I just didn't really care to listen. That's
Facts.
literally it. That's
The
literally
second I'm
it.
on CapCut whipping up some fucking meme that'll get like 200 views, like then I'm good. Like
Yeah.
once I have to write the
That
reports, bro, then it's over. Anyways,
once you
look,
just
bro,
yeah.
none of this shit matters. Let's be real. We're taking over. This loop, we've
That's it.
identified the fucking vacuum. We know it to be good. We're just gonna increase the amount of times that we're spending the vacuum, bro. All right, we're gonna
Of
bring
course.
more high and quality people in the vacuum. Then we're gonna travel around. We're gonna hop in the PJ. We're gonna fucking have these fat houses with no furniture in them.
Rev up the
Look,
That's it, bro. Yo,
Hattie's
yeah.
gonna
I've been
get
thinking
fucking
about
pig
that,
banged. He's gonna have three
bro.
wives. All
We
right,
best live together.
free.
Like we have to, bro. I already asked Cal. I said, "Yo, I'm living with Andrew in the near future." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, good, good." I'm
Bro,
glad
this
there's
is
no
the
issue
we're
there.
we're starting the compound. It's literally the
We
compound.
have to, bro. It was the dream. It was the dream to get the boys
Yeah,
in the
it's the
cloud
compound.
house, bro.
It's the fucking compound.
Yo,
So yeah,
we're
as soon as the
cloud
money comes in,
superior. Part
yo,
two is happening,
bro,
bro. We're getting.
it could be as soon as the summer in Toronto if that's when the money comes in. But we'll see. Like but like at the very least, some sort of co-working space in Ottawa. But like
Yeah, bro.
at best, Toronto. Then get the visa in order. We're going states.
So what are we
So
thinking? I'm thinking either near the Canada Tech Park or potentially what's that place
mm,
called? Like near Ashbury where Trudeau lives. I think those are the areas we should be living in. Because I just I'd rather be with business rich people, like elites, or with tech rich people, also elites. So like we can make a decision later. Um but yeah. You have any closing remarks, Sadie?
how do you always close?
You have to.
Oh, Duchenne next week, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think Hattie went to the bathroom. I I love you, Andrew. You're my
Love you, bro.
boy.
Let's get it.
I
Yo, I'm
love you,
so
bro.
psyched
One
for the week,
time.
dog. I love you.
Yo,
Bye.
me too, bro. Always,
Let's get
man.
it.
Always.
Let's get it.
I
I want.